penultimate shipcast. Oh, geez, shipcast of the 2024 season. That's hopefully not a Freudian slip for our picks tonight. We got Chargers Broncos underway right now. We got Marc Sessler. We got a rain check. His internet wasn't working last time. He's going to be here in the second quarter. We got Pick'ems ready to roll. We got a giveaway if we can hit our core. And we got Steph Miller swinging by in the third quarter. We also have a surprise BBM sweat to show you guys that we collectively drafted earlier this offseason that has made it to the semifinals. So I'm Pete with Ben and Pat. This is the Shipcast. Let's do it. It's the Shipcast. We got some fun pick'em sweats dialed up. You mix in a couple lowers there to make sure people know you know ball.
All hires, because we know ball.
Yeah. You're going to lose anyway, probably, so just do the peppers.
Scorch your watch, everyone. Scorch your watch.
Oh, no!
The pick'ems aren't hitting.
Baker,
look the other way, you cuck.
You guys want to make some more pick'ems?
I'm back, baby. I'm emotionally invested.
Here we go.
Yeah!
Oh, let's go!
Yeah!
I just want to be clear. No one is asking you to watch the game. We're just asking you to watch us. All right. Good evening. Good evening, Pat and Gretch. How are we doing?
Oh, I just had this first sip of this marg and made it a little stiff tonight.
Wow.
Sign of things to come.
We had a Gus Edwards catch to start here.
I know. We talked about how to play Gus. I told you guys, I was like, Pat, you were relaying some of the lines. And I was like, I love if we do the rush plus the receiving, because he only has 2 catches all year. One went for 1 yard, one went for 2 yards. And there's like a 5-yard gap. It's like he's not going to get 5 receiving yards. He's probably not going to catch a pass. He gets just like a 3-yard pass at the first drive.
Right away, yeah.
Shit.
But then they immediately pull him off the field. Who is this? Darius Davis with a little pitch?
Yeah.
Interesting usage early, though, because I've been telling you guys.
I don't know. It must have been holding.
It might have been an illegal formation. Yeah, hold on a toss. That's probably what it was. I was telling you guys that the Chargers have basically completely given up the run since J.K. Dobbins got hurt. It doesn't necessarily show up in like all the PROE stuff and everything, but if you look at like their first half numbers, especially their first couple drives of every game, been super, super pass heavy. They basically don't trust Edwards and Vidal, and they come out running. I mean, they run, they throw a swing to the running back, and they run again, and then they punt. So we'll see what happens.
I feel like it's probably still so hard for Harbaugh to conceptually not be a running team. He's like, let me try it. Yeah, and Rowan, let me just try it. What if it just works to start?
Estimate's starting, guys.
This is great. Yeah,
for our pick'ems.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we put so right here up on the screen, I have the core. We didn't have the balls to put estimate in the core. We got Marvin Mims higher than 2.5 receptions, got a little plus money on that. Gus Edwards lower that we were just talking about, lower 39.5 scrimmage yards, and then Ladd higher than 70.5 receiving yards. But I can pull up in a second. We have a couple or a slider that involves estimate rushing yards.
That's right. And I mean, the Chargers rushing stuff we were just talking about, it's interesting because last week they tied the league low for any team in any game for rush attempts in a game with only 11. 3 weeks ago, they had a game with 17. In the last 4 weeks, they had another game that had 20, I think it was. I was telling you guys, all of those are like bottom like 17th percentile points or whatever, bottom 20th percentile, whatever you want to call it. Games just in the last 4 here. And the fourth game is only like 24 rush attempts. And some of those are like quarterback attempts too. I mean, they've been sub 20 running back attempts 3 straight weeks. They've been, I think, at 11 in 2 of those 3 games. Total rush attempts for running backs, which is just it seems like maybe they're adjusting off of that. Like we got to establish the run or something. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by that so far.
Mims in the backfield. That's a pitch.
Wow.
So we get the early Mims thing. That's the other one that, I mean, we've done this for a long time. You guys are way better at the weekly stuff than I am in terms of, looking through projections, looking at matchups, looking forward. Obviously, my stuff's a little bit like longer term when I'm working on stealing signals and stuff. This is the first one for several weeks that I felt like an underdog just had something mispriced. Our role's been there for 5 weeks now. Mims has had this backfield role. He's caught a lot of passes. He's had 2+ catches for 5 straight games, 19 targets over that span, about 4 per game. Pat, we were going through the advanced numbers. You were digging up a lot of stuff. A lot of that's right out of the backfield alignment or from wide receiver. 3 of those 5 games, he's has negative air yards. One of the other ones, he had 5 air yards. The 5th one is that game where he had the deep TD. Everyone at Ship Chasing obviously is tracking Marvin Mims and knows he had the long touchdown a couple weeks ago. But the other games, other than that bomb, it's all been short, which is really high catch rate stuff. And so he's getting the targets, and you'd expect them to be high catch rate. They've also given him 10 carries in those 5 games. So this role's been there for 5 weeks, which when you're talking about like recent usage, it's not 2 weeks. We're usually looking like last 4, last 6 games. Like this is a real role that just seemed like it wasn't really priced in. We get like a free look at it. It feels like
he's been used a lot on screens. He's been used on out of the backfield. He had 4 backfield targets that weren't screens.
Whoa, like Javonte Williams.
Oh
wow.
We get Javonte on Thursday night, and suddenly he looks like a completely different player than every game that he plays. It's hilarious.
I'll also get that pulled up in a little bit, but just to let you guys know, we drafted a Best Ball Mania team on this channel on May 2nd, shortly after the NFL draft. That is my only advancing Best Ball Mania team, and it has 3 players going tonight: Javonte Williams, Ladd McConkey, and Joshua Palmer. So we're going to get to sweat some early returns here.
Who's this? 25 in the backfield.
Watson.
Oh, Blake Watson's back with them?
Blake Watson. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. That was the other.
This is Burton?
It's Atkins.
Yeah, is that Atkins? Wow.
Yeah.
You think that Jaleel being out is the ways that Mims in the backfield would go over to Mims with Jaleel out, because they do a lot of the like big back stuff, light back stuff. But Watson's kind of a problem for everything. I was just saying.
Watson's a problem for our not our whole thesis, because part of it's that Mims has had this role even with Jaleel active. But
right.
we're like, hey, this dude, because Ben, you were talking about the role. I was digging in. I was like, yeah, I see everything you're talking about. And then we're like, and Jaleel's out, so that's a further boost.
Right.
And then also one of the things I liked about this is that I did not think the Chargers are going to be able to get to Nix. He was going to have time to throw. And that's good for long stuff and short stuff, right? It's good because the interesting thing about Mims' backfield role is it's not like all screens. Some of it's been like wheel routes and little swing routes and that type of stuff, where it's like, it's not necessarily a check down, but it's not like to get it out quick. Pass rush is coming. It's like you kind of he'll even like look at the swing pass, take another read downfield, and then go back to it, that kind of thing. So it all kind of fit with like what I thought the game might be like, with the Broncos pass protecting being quite a bit better than the pass rush they're facing. The Chargers are dead last in time to pressure. They have an okay pressure rate, but it takes a long time to get there. So kind of the Knicks has time to throw element is incorporated in some of these, particularly the Sutton one that we'll get to.
Watson just looked good there. How did he look in your prospect stuff? Because I remember Siegel was pretty into him. I had like best ball exposure to Watson. I'm sure those teams are dead, but I didn't realize he was up and active. He looked pretty good there. He might be a problem here, man. He might be the back that takes over.
Yeah, he's bad for Estimate and bad for Mims.
This is like one of those NBA teams that have like an 11-man rotation right now, where just like every touch is some different dude.
Right. The Mims stuff is like, I was talking about a very specific role. It's not that huge of a role. So prior to week 10, he only played in the backfield on 2 snaps all year. Since then, he's played in the backfield between 4 and 7 snaps at all 5 games in a row.
I think he already has 2 in this game. They just haven't thrown to him.
And I'm sure people are like, dude, 4 to 7 snaps, that's what you're having us bet on. But that's like 10% of the game, right? You're talking about 60 snaps in a game roughly. And that's still not a ton, but it's also a role with him and with Jaleel, the way that that particular sort of scat back role is used, that it's a really high touch per snap role. When they're on the field, they tend to get the ball. They're not out there to pass block and stuff like that.
And we're trying to get, it's the differess of like 1 reception, right? It's like they
just ran a screen to Watson. That's the play.
Wow.
That's supposed to go to Mims.
Is that a headshot there at the end?
Oh man, he has looked awesome on this drive, but yeah, that was a headshot, and he looked a little wobbled.
Watson did not rate particularly well in my stuff. It's kind of just a flyer type. I mean, he was undrafted. Let me give him some draft position. Let me say he was like 150. Let me adjust this.
Yeah, that was a bad hit.
It was
right to
hard helmet to helmet. Yeah, and they called unnecessary roughness. But look, he looks fun, and I hope he's fine. He legitimately looked wobbled.
Wow.
I think he's gonna come out of this game. I think they're gonna have to call down here.
They're gonna call down for sure.
Yeah, and then I think he's gonna have to go through concussion testing that might not go very well for him because he looked wobbled when he came up. Yeah, I mean, White Lancer in the chat. Oh, that's Estime.
Estime Tutty. Wow.
He's on his way.
Damn, dude.
White Lancer in the chat said Pick'em's died because of Blake Watson was not on my bingo card. Me either.
They
Pick'em's
are very
should
much
be dead
not
because of Blake
dead.
Watson, but then he immediately gets a concussion is a really weird run out.
Watson, by the way, I threw in like he was drafted around pick 150. Like what do we think about him now? Supposed to being undrafted, which kind of kills him and my stuff. But he's like same tier. He's like a 4th round rookie pick type, same tier as Garendo, Ray Davis, Will Shipley, Isaiah Davis.
So if you gave him some draft capital similar to those guys, he would have looked similar to those guys.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
those
a
guys
little later,
been
a little
fine.
later than those guys. Those guys were like in the 120s, 130s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit there. There's a little bit there.
It's a little. Yeah, he's kind of. Let me see what's driving it. We've got decent elusive rating, 1.10 yards per out run, but he ran a lot of routes. Yes, backfield dominated rating was okay. 92% in his final season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was at Memphis. I knew he was at Memphis, but he played at Old Dominion prior, interestingly. And then he finished at Memphis just 1 year, his 5th year. So I don't know if you have age in there, but the age probably is knocking him down.
Do.
He's old. Because
he
he also
in there, but it's not like it's not a huge factor. He's 24.
24. Because I was going to say Old Dominion didn't play in 2020. So that was his 5th year, but his first year was 2018. It was really 6 years out of high school in college.
He had an 8.91 RAS. That's impressive.
Good athleticism.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to boost it. It's mostly boosting the guys who are really young. It's kind of like once you're not young, it doesn't matter that much, I don't think. You know?
Right. That makes sense.
Man, the estimated TD's cool. The Javante would have been very cool for the
that would have been
BBM
great
team,
for
though.
our sweat.
I'll pull up this team though so you guys can see it here. Stop the count. Baker May no, then we wouldn't even advance. Don't stop the count.
Don't stop it. We just had a terrible week 16.
Baker. So this was one of the only teams. I named my teams, put the dates in there, mentioned the SC team. This is one of the few teams that got an emoji in the description. It's a vomit emoji next to Watson.
I thought it was going to be a good emoji.
No. So the teams Baker Mayfield, Drake May, and Deshaun Watson. Our running backs Devon Achane, Jalen Warren, Javonte Williams, Chase Brown, and Rico Dowdle. Wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, Tank Dell, Jaden Reed, Ladd McConkey, Joshua Palmer, Javon Baker, Jalen McMillan. And then tight ends Mark Andrews, Kate Otten. The thing I was most bummed about is seems like Kate Otten's trending in the wrong direction for this week. So we might only have one bullet at tight end.
Yeah. I went back and watched. We didn't want Watson. This is why I think, obviously you put the emoji for a number of reasons, but in this particular draft, I went back and watched when we were on the clock in each one, and we wanted Herbert, but we got sniped on him before we took Palmer. And then we were like deciding between, I was like, we could take Gus. And you're like, I think Palmer, let's just stack it up without Herbert. So we took Palmer. And then we took Jefferson in the first round. So we wanted McCarthy. We're like, we could take Watson, but we're all just sitting there in silence. And then Ben was like, I mean, Watson is a pretty good pick. And I was like, yes, he is. And I wasn't going to say anything. He said no.
Is that what we did? We all said nice things about our daughters after we took
No, that's not. I think it was after the next one. We kept drafting it. But then we got sniped on JJ McCarthy, which we were all tilted about. And then I was like, let's take Drake May, man. So we ended up taking
by the way
Baker first to set it up, but we got
how purely process standpoint. This is semantics, and no one even wants to hear it. But how obviously of a good pick was Deshaun Watson? I mean, you see Jameis Winston go in there. They're throwing a ton. He used to be mobile, and he used to be a really good passer. If he could have just been anything other than the worst quarterback basically ever, which is what he was in EPA from like through whatever week he got hurt, week 10 or whatever. Someone was tracking this every week. He went down as the worst EPA per play quarterback through like week 10 since 2000. For a long time, the person tracking it, I can't remember who it was. One of our buddies in the industry was tracking it as he's the worst Browns QB since 2000, which is bad enough. And he ended up being the worst NFL QB since 2000.
That just doubles as the worst NFL quarterback.
But like they threw, right? They wanted the Ken Dorsey wanted to throw. They waned to do this stuff. Once they got a quarterback in there, they did it all. And they had enough talent that the passing game is like super lucrative when Winston's in there. As long as he didn't do what he did, Watson should have been a really good pick. But anyway, it's good. It's good.
McCarthy was a good pick because I think that's true as well. Like as well as Darnold's played, McCarthy would have had a stretch. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe he doesn't get the week 1 job and then he can't get the job back. I guess it's possible he never would have really got that much run. But obviously anyone in that system can have success. It seems like.
Is this Vidal?
Oh, look at Vidal.
It is.
Pete wanted to do rushing ladders on him, and I was like, I've been waiting for him to do that every week.
Don't worry, I ran it a bunch myself. I was stoked on Vidal here tonight. I mean, both him and Estimate. But the thing about we'll get to talk about Watson with our guest Marc Sessler, noted Browns fan. So I'm sure he'll have some thoughts on that.
He looked really good.
Our Browns angle that we have a Deshaun Watson semifinal.
Yeah, that's our angle. The rain check.
Yeah.
What the Chargers are doing early in this game is shocking to me. I wanted to play them to be pass heavy pretty strongly, and they've come out and they're trying to establish the run against Pat. You had the numbers on Denver's rush D is really, really strong. Yeah. Teams throw against Denver. They have like the 5th most pass attempts against or 4th most pass attempts against this year. Like that huge Jameis Winston game a few weeks ago was against Denver. Teams don't run on them. They throw on them. But the Chargers are challenging that.
They do both. I mean, they're not like a huge pass funnel or anything. They just throw way more. Like when you look at a pass defense this good, you're like, oh, they're a run funnel probably. And they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they get behind, they won't have much of a choice.
Right.
But they've abandoned the run since Dobbins got hurt 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have completely abandoned the run. So it wasn't just Denver's D. It was it was the Chargers. So anyway, and then you come into this matchup and it's like, oh, we're gonna run on 5 of our first 7 offensive snaps. It's legitimately shocking to me, surprising to me.
Yeah,
they were kind of conservative against the Chiefs a few weeks ago. They kind of fluctuate. The way I was reading was like they kind of have this. They used to be dedicated to the run when they had Dobbins. And then after the bye, they came out. Herbert's also healthier then. And they kind of start going pass heavy. And I remember like the DFS conversation really shifted. We're like the Chargers are a pass first team now. And then they didn't really like.
Is that Palmer?
Palmer.
Oh, get in. Flag.
That would have been nice to.
That would have been real nice. I know, because Palmer has to be what? Like, I mean, we could go through the pod. I bet we're the only Palmer.
I'm sure we're the only Palmer.
Declined. We got the catch at least. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great if he had a nice spike game here. I found I have Estimate in one of my 2 on my account that advanced.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one I showed you guys that scored like 200 last week where I was like, yeah, this team's like not that good though, because it has James Conner and like Devontae Adams, and I'm like, these guys are not going to score as much as they did. Well,
for real this time, stop the count. Stop.
Are we in?
Yeah, we're in.
I'm down with that. My Estimate one's advancing too.
Fucking Gus. Sit down, buddy.
Gus.
At least we don't have anything with fantasy points with him.
Right.
All right, let's see.
We were going to do attempts under on him. I was a little worried he might get like a bunch of goal line work and like a sequence like this. He's already got, 4 touches.
Yeah, the attempts is, I felt better about the yards because like part of the reason we thought he might not get the attempts is because he's been so bad. So you're like, all right, well, then maybe if we're wrong about who they play, we still win because he's bad.
Right. Yeah, at this point, I think you feel good that you have yards
because he scored it.
I think they're marking him down. Huh? I never even saw a ref lift it up. Oh, that guy came.
Oh,
All
he
right.
finally did. It'll be interesting to see if there's an angle on that because it did seem like the ball was in his right hand as his hip came
Prime
down.
had it from the top, and he
was
crossed.
in.
Yeah.
Okay. It seemed like he probably was, but why is the ball in his right hand? You know, that's not helpful. Oh, no, he's down.
You think?
I think on that goal line angle that maybe
It looked like his arm stretched out.
Okay.
Because he almost switched the ball.
Yeah, I think he's in. I guess it's hard to tell exactly when his knee hits.
They confirm that. Yeah, that was too. I thought his knee was going to come down quicker because, again, the ball's in the right hand. But I think maybe you're right. He fell forward.
Well, I will say after last week's game, just having 2 touchdowns right out of the gate feels good.
Yeah,
it does. Although one of them's from one of like 5 unders we've taken all year.
Yeah, but again, that 1 yard doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
But yeah, not a great start for that under.
Did you guys happen to see the? I never even looked at the spread or anything on this. This is the last week of stealing signals, so I've been kind of checked out the last 24 hours since I sent that out. I was like, yes, made it. Think about like some of the things that I haven't been doing and need to get done these last couple days before Christmas. But I forgot to do any like digging into this game for stealing lines, basically. But when we were talking earlier, I was thinking maybe the over would be interesting. Yeah, it was only 41 and a half. Because we were talking basically that we thought both sides would be pretty pass heavy. Because you thought that about the Broncos as well, Pat.
I did, yeah. They seem fairly committed to the pass in terms of like pass rate over expected and pass rate.
And they're just not really running the ball well. Neither team has been good at running the ball. But anyway, they've been running it so far.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the Broncos keep putting up points, then they're going to have to. And Gus is not a passing down guy, so I think if you're baiting Gus Edwards, the first quarter is going to be the one that feels the worst.
Right.
That's true. Right. I like it. Sell me on that. We got a 21 yard cushion. That started.
So I advanced 1 BBM and got my pot has Gus Edwards. Come on.
So
does ours.
Gus Edwards. Here's the other thing, Pete. You're saying we have a 21 yard cushion. Gus already has 6 touches. We were thinking the under on 10-ish rush attempts or essentially touches because he barely catches any passes. I mean, is he going to have 20 touches or like Pat's saying, is this going to be like half of his usage for the whole game? And that's kind of what I think. I do think they're going to start passing. But one of the things, the reason it's so weird to me is I was showing you guys, and not that you asked, but I was going into like the actual drive logs from their last couple games in the first parts of the game. Like they've come out and been really pass heavy in both of their first 2 drives, the last 2 games. Like you mentioned that KC game, their PROE ended up pretty neutral, but the first couple drives, they came out passing with intent. And then they were just running. I was joking to it seemed like to give their receivers a breather after they would throw for 3 straight downs and then they'd run on 1st and 10 after they got a 1st and 10. And I mean, they did obviously end up running some throughout that game, but it was more like in the second half. As it was kind of a close game with the Chiefs, but they came out throwing in that one too. It's odd that they've started so run heavy, but I do think they're going to shift to the pass in this game.
I think they'll shift. Yeah. Estimate looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I'm excited about this BBM team. If he can go out and go he already has 8.4, or no, sorry, he has 7.2. I have Knicks on this team too, but if he can go out and put up freaking 20 points, that'd be pretty sweet.
All right. We also have pick him with a Sutton TD. Is that a Javonte catch?
That was a Javonte play for sure.
Yeah.
Catches it behind the line of scrimmage. It's 1 yard, fumbles.
Man.
Dude, he has, in the last 5 weeks, he has 3 games with under 10 total yards, even though he plays 50% of the snaps.
So bad. Oh.
He had 23.
Yeah, both of these teams Like their run games are in very similar spots.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good. It's not a good spot. And they're
Dobbins
passing.
and Jaleel are the comps together. Vidal
Right.
and Esteve, the comp.
Oh, that was Troy
Ooh,
Franklin, right?
skipped it.
So that's the other part of the Mims bet is he does get some targets downfield still. It's not a ton. We're talking about the sort of rotational stuff of this team. And so you bet on Mims to go over a certain number of receptions. He's not maybe even going to run 50% of the routes in this game. You're really expecting it to be those like throws with intent out of the backfield and wide receiver screens, the stuff that's been happening over the last 5 or 6 weeks every week. But he still will run a couple routes downfield. It'd be nice if he caught a downfield pass. That would be really helpful.
He's split out here.
Motioning here.
Motioning.
There he is.
There.
Find
Throw
him.
it to him. Oh, I thought he was going there.
Wow.
There's the rushing
Nice
you were
first
talking
down.
about.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, I liked his scrambling here because he would have time to throw. And a lot of his scrambles have been from a clean pocket or when pressure was late. So again, with that late time to pressure, I was like,
Oh, you got
here
it.
you'd say what? He's clean, yeah.
Mims was so open. The pocket just broke down so quick that he just stepped up and ran. That's the like high catch rate stuff we were talking about, where if he swings out to Mims, like it. That's the part of it where I felt like the models maybe are missing it. They're like, well, a wide receiver with an 85% catch rate over these last 5 weeks, that's unsustainable. But you're like, no, when you really dig into where the targets are coming, these are 85% catch rate targets. I mean, that's what they are.
That's some nice vision by Estime there.
It is.
Yeah, he looks good. He's the one we ended up playing the ladders. And Pete, you said you came in this morning and liked both Vital and Estime, and I thought those are both really fun. I was basically like, I don't want to sweat Vital again because I've been telling people all year to pick him up and stash him over at Signals and everything, and watching him.
Yeah, it is
waiting
a
for
bummer
something.
when running out of runway for these. Because I mean, I will say though, the past couple of weeks have been talk about a cascading windfall for zero RB drafters. We just get the news today about Kamara opening up Kendre Miller potentially. Like lots of guys coming out of nowhere here.
Is he officially gonna sit?
The report made it seem incredibly doubtful for Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watson is already back, though.
It's not just that Kamara got hurt, too. It's that they fired the guy who hates Kendre Miller. I don't have that much Kendre Miller, but it's still, like, amazing. Like, the run-out for Miller is so good. You know, he's like...
And then the first day after they fire that guy, the new coach is like, we wish he wasn't on IR. Why did he get put on IR? It's the last act of defiance of Dennis Allen. He was like, no, we're putting Kendre Miller on IR on, like, Saturday night before the game. Then they get their butt beat on Sunday. He gets fired on Monday. And he was just like, I'm sick of him getting hurt. I'm putting him on IR right before this game. And then he's fired 2 days later.
It's so bad.
My God.
But he's healthy now. He's healthy now, and Kamara isn't. So it's kind of amazing for the zero running back stuff. But
yeah, I had a really fun FFPC team with Drico that had Kendre on it as a long shot element to it. That had a shot to advance on Monday night this week. Just needed more from either Bijan or Bowers or even potentially Pitts. It was a Falcon stack, and all those guys were well below. I mean, Pitts actually probably hit his expectation, but it's not like he had a good game. Bowers and Bijan was like 14 or 15 PPR points, but he'd been over 20 in like 7 of 8 games, and he needed 20. He lost by a few points from advancing, but that would have been that team has it's dead now. Had Bucky and Chase Brown and Bijan and also had Kendre, had Ladd, had Brian Thomas, Lamar team, had Bowers, had Trey McBride. Such a fun team. I'm sad about it.
The Monday night was so brutal. Like basically, if you needed anything, like
I had Bowers in a 5-5-5 with me and Eric Beinfor competing for the last 2 spots. He had Aaron Jones. I had Bowers. He got in. Bowers didn't do shit.
Even if you had Jefferson, it's like you get the one score, but then you watch him drop what would have been another touchdown, and you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Look who it is. We got our rain check. Our guest,
Mark.
Hello.
Marc Sessler.
Welcome.
Heed the call. How we doing, Mark?
You know, like the last time, I'm going to tell you something about how sound systems work. Like the last time, I have an earpiece in, right? And I'd had it since Corona, like way back COVID. And this is the most embarrassing story. But the reason it did not work last time, and I bought an entire new sound system for lots of money because there was earwax stuck in it.
Oh no!
I'm just telling you that. So like, what an annoyance that it happened. And this was meant to be Bengals Browns, but it's this game instead. But I'm happy to be here with you tonight.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're bummed it didn't work out last time. And our thematic tie-ins for the guests, they tend to get like looser and looser as the season goes on. So
sure.
it's completely okay.
So the tie-in at this point is this was originally scheduled to be a Browns game.
Yes, it was. That's the tie-in. Yep. Well, I will say at least I worked literally about 14 feet away from SoFi Stadium for years. For a number of years.
That counts.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a tie-in, right?
That is
For
a tie-in.
Yeah.
Where are you at with your Browns fandom? Is it kind of like, because when we had Dan on, he basically described his relationship with the Jets as like a Gwyneth Paltrow conscious uncoupling where they were kind of together, but not really together. And he kind of made it sound like that's similar to your relationship with the Browns.
Wow. Yeah. Like, I don't like that he took Gwyneth because I'm of the age where Gwyneth was like kind of a thing to me back then. Now she's not. Now she's doing her goop and she's sort of annoying. But like, the Browns have pounded me into submission to the point where like, I have no feelings. Does that make sense? It's like yeah. I kind of don't care what you do. And it's like, you might get a new quarterback, a new coach, a new GM. We'll see. But it's like, you've done enough. You've hurt me so long. And like, I think we're in a world where like we wake up into new worlds of awareness where it's like, oh, I've been like everyone. I have been in the abusive relationship since 1986.
Oh my God.
And what have you brought me? Like the answer is nothing. That's the definitive answer. You brought me nothing. So like, I want to keep going, but
what is like the highlight of the Browns?
Well, I mean, literally nothing for some of those years. They were gone for 3 or 4 years of those years.
The highlight might have been when they were gone because I would go to sports bars. Well, I'd go to sports bars, and that was like Brett Favre's, I think, 2 MVP campaigns. And like I became kind of a Brett Favre guy way back when, during that time. But the Browns, when they win little tiny primetime games, like that helps, you know. But yeah, I think in the mid like 1980s, like they to me were fascinating with wonderful characters and Marty Schottenheimer, and I believed in them, and you know I knew the names of all the players' wives and everything. Like and now it's become more dull and more distant. Yeah.
Because like I feel like that I don't want to speak for everyone. There's still certainly lots of people in the fantasy community who have their teams they root for, but for me it's like beating the fandom out of me. I grew up a Denver fan, sure. But like covering the NFL, did it do the same thing because you're following all the stories, or did that journalist side still allow you to kind of have that fandom?
Well, you know, so like talking to Dan, like you know, like our show, we kind of were like, if we're gonna do this, like we've got to be like you guys, like we're gonna like be who we're into and be real and like we're not NBC News. This is not Tom Brokaw. So like I always was open with my Brown. I think it was very affected and very wild and very open in the large portion of our previous show at NFL Network, and like it didn't take my fandom away. It didn't. It made me. I felt closer to it. But then the Browns, though, they're just like pounding you overhead with the baseball bat. So they took it away. You know. It's hard to follow a team that can't make the right decisions. I think they've been a little bit better, actually, and obviously in recent years. I think Stefanski's a good coach and all that stuff. But you know, like Deshaun Watson, that changed a lot.
Did that change it? Like the experience of kind of being a Browns fan?
I'm gonna be real, like not in like a woke way where like I can't handle this, because like I think we've got players on all these teams, right? But like I wanted him, if anything, to say I understand why people feel the way they feel about me, and like, here's where I'm at, and here's my plan to grow. Not that, you know, look, I could tell that to people too. That'd be nice. They would like that. But like, but yes, I think it seemed like the most ridiculous, out of pocket move by a team that felt desperate, and they've never really connected with the fan base off of that decision. I think you're a Broncos. We've got the Browns fans have been there forever. Like, you don't move to another city, marry a woman, have kids, and then fall in love with like the New Orleans. Like, you stay a Browns fan, and like I think that they really did the Browns fans wrong. They put them in a tough spot, and they put me in a tough spot. Also, when we have to talk about this stuff, it's like, I'm not here to support Deshaun Watson and whatever it is he did. I'm not the FBI. I don't know what he did, but like, it was a rough situation with no real healing. And the Browns too have never really, I thought, felt responsible about, like, we understand this is tough for, you know, children, girls, boys, men, wives, aunts, uncles, fat uncles, like everyone, like, we don't know. And like, they never, it was just sort of like this sort of distilled, silent, icy move. And so
It's kind of the worst part of fan, where like, they're like, you root for this guy now. Enjoy that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's well said, because it's like, I think it's split that you had these like bros that were like, if you don't support him, you're not a real fan. It's like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I've read a newspaper, so I'm not excited about like the situation. But you know, that's how it works.
Sorry for reading one newspaper.
Tough when like the fans of the other 31 teams are all basically rooting, you know, against him and the Browns and all of that. I mean, that's got to be kind of hard too. You're like, I mean, because everything you said, it resonates. Where you're like, I mean, it's not my choice, and I don't know what he actually did, and it's kind of just thrust upon me as a fan. But everyone else on the outside is like, well, yeah, we kind of just want the Browns to get their karma. And there's been a lot of, you know, Schadenfreude or whatever from that.
That is the perfect comment. Because I think the one thing that the Cleveland Browns had, and there's a couple teams like this, you know, the Chicago Cubs, in sports, where it's like, we get that you suck, but we kind of root for you because you're the people's team. And we go through hard times. Like, we suck sometimes, but the Browns do too. And like, if they were to survive and win a playoff game, like they did with Baker Mayfield against the Steelers, like, kind of America and kind of the world can get behind that. And like, what it turned it into is like, you suck, but you also did the most evil thing. Like, even Darth Vader, like, turned cool at the end, right? Like, he was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm your dad, I kind of love you. Like, this was a bit of an act, like, went through a lot of drama here, but like, the
whole helmet thing, I took it a little too far.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, now I'm pale and I look ridiculous. But like, it's like the Browns, like, seem to have no morals at this point. And I do think that Kevin Stefanski does, for instance. And it's like, I'm confused, because like, I think Andrew Berry does, like the GM, and it's like, what happened here, and who's in charge, and like, how no one's explained it to anyone. And it's the lack of any relationship, like, the lack of communication creates distress, creates mind games. And like, the Browns have not communicated well with anyone. And I think that's bad for a team. It's a bad move for a sports team.
That's super interesting, because I that's the perception I've gotten always from Stefanski and Barry too. Is like, individually they seem like great people, but then they've been very much like falling in line and fully in support of something that you're like, well, did I miss something? You know, am I?
Yeah, I mean, what I read, I mean, I remember reading at the time, Stefanski was like showing plays on the iPad and kind of convincing Watson he'd be a great fit for the system. So it seemed like there wasn't any twisting of the arm there. He seemed pretty into it.
And to your point too, of just like not playing the fan base as fools. Like, we live in a media era where if you're authentic and you say the quiet part out loud and you just call it out, like, they respect you. If you just own your L, people will respect you so much more. If you're like, hey, we messed up, it's a tough spot. Like, it's almost a simple PR playbook. And they just decided to just shut up and be like, all right, here's Jameis Winston. Oh, and now here's DTR. Just deal with it.
Right.
I think you're so right. Like, they could have solved this 2 summers ago, or at least started to heal it. But it also would have required Deshaun Watson, the person, who I don't think is capable of this. I think this is part of the problem. It's like you were good at football at what, 4 years ago at this point, 4.5 years,
Yeah,
5
it's
years.
seriously been like 4 years now.
Yeah, and as a person, we have detected, and information and resources have told us that you're not. I'm not just saying not a good person. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but like you've done things that don't work in the framework of our society. And we've got to try to figure out a way to like make you marketable or like help you heal and change and grow. I'm always big. I'd be fine with that. Not just in this case, it's a little exorbitant, but like change, grow, and we work with you. But like none of that's been done by the team, by the player. And like, and that's what's sort of sad about like even what happened with Jameis Winston to get benched. It's like I get that he was not a perfect individual either, but like he also came in as a hot PR candidate with like incredible quotes that came out of like the Old Testament and out of space.
Jameis is fun, man.
He's
Jameis
so
is
endearing.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always root for Jameis.
I did too. No, I'm with you too. Like that was like all these teams were human beings. So it's like, I want to forgive, but like, for him to melt down and now he's gone too. It's like this team for me just feels you're out of moves. You're out of moves. We've all been there. You're out of moves. Like you got to go disappear into the wilderness.
Nick Chubb was there another really fun kind of positive thing when he comes back and now he's
Look
out.
at that. Right.
Yeah.
I think that
to the point you're making about like kind of the America rallying around them. The Lions are they really prove that point. That's sort of the energy that you're talking, the potential, right? Like this downtrodden team, you kind of build it up. You get the cast off quarterback, that no one wants. That no one thinks is going to be good, and you kind of turn them into something. You build around them. It could. I mean, that's like the dream,
Yeah,
really
Pat,
interesting discussion of like culture here, because didn't Amari Cooper have a little bit of a quote after he got traded about like he just wasn't real happy with. I thought I saw something where like he just basically wasn't enjoying playing with Deshaun Watson. Basically,
what I heard from one person who I trust very much was that the way that we feel about that quarterback and that whole experience, we're all like, they don't feel that differently. They felt the same way. And I think that if anything, Jameis, for his, foibles on the field, like kind of lifted them up. And it's always like anyone but him. And you know what I mean? It was anyone but him. And the Nick Chubb
Jameis plays with like a little too much confidence on the field.
Well, sure.
And I feel like he brings that off the field as well.
He just can't. It's like, oh, are you my friend on edibles at the dance club? And we're all 21. Like, I love you, and you're gonna do incredible things, but you're gonna do things that we're all gonna have to answer for. And like, I would take that over. I wouldn't take it forever, but like,
he's got some far-fetched business ideas.
Yes, he does.
Probably not gonna work.
He does. Yeah. Yes, he does. I mean, they were more fun with him. Like there was this like 2-week period where I think Browns fans felt brought back into, we've all rooted for teams that suck. It's like, I'm giving you hours of my life, of my thought period, of my time, my money. It's not even money. It's just like my investment. And in return, you give me nothing. Like I've always said, if it were a girl, and now I've fallen into this trap, in my youth too, but like, it's like, I'd be out of here in 2 minutes. But somehow the Browns have kept me in this marriage for, 40 plus years, which is, that speaks to me as much as anyone else. So I am the one that the press should come after.
Look inward.
It's loyalty, Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
It's loyalty.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Is it loyalty or does it become something? Am I dim? I could be dim.
So the other funny tie-in, Mark, with the Browns is, so Underdog's big flagship tournament, Best Ball Mania, $1.5 million prize. Pat Crane here has won this tournament before.
He won $1.5 million.
It was actually more than that.
It was actually
$2 million.
It used to be more.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and he still
What are
does
you
the
doing
show.
here?
Can you believe that?
Why are you still? Yeah, exactly. Why are you not on?
I'm hanging
You
out
should
with
be
my
on
buddies.
Ibiza at this point. And just
He's like a Browns fan. He has Stockholm syndrome. He doesn't know what else to do but to show up. So we collectively draft a couple teams, on this stream throughout the summer. And one of our teams that we drafted on May 2nd, like right after the NFL draft, is in the semifinals right now. And it has Deshaun Watson on it. And we don't know
big
how
contributor.
it happened. Very big contributor. The team immediately got good once he was done for the season. So that's I have a team named Watson, and that's the one we have to root for here.
You mentioned earlier in the stream in the first quarter that you don't have a lot of emojis in your team names, but it's named Watson with a vomit emoji.
Yeah, so this was, I name all the teams after. It was 5-2, ship chasing, 3-5-8-2's the build, Watson, and then the vomit emoji, and that's our team here.
Well, so hold on, I'm a novice, but like I'm assuming someone's playing quarterback on a
Baker.
Relatively
Baker's
weak.
That's
That's my fantasy guy, and like how ironic that is. How ironic that is. Like, had you just built a team around him, like I had to shift gears, and I'm not a big fantasy person, but like I do care about it. And like I was in a league with a bunch of high school friends. So there's a ton of shit talking left and right about your girlfriends from like 1991 and all this stuff. It's like I like got Baker Mayfield in there, and he started kicking people's asses. Like, and it's like, hey, check it out, Dan, my science class person I sat next to in 1990. Like, he just kicked your ass. So I love that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know what you're doing with Deshaun Watson still on the roster. You're not allowed to drop him, or you like
you can't drop him. No, you keep everyone
stuck
for the whole year. Yeah.
Well, you're the Browns then. You're basically the Browns.
Like the Browns. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we had to grapple with the decision when we made the pick. We weren't pleased about it. There was a lot of.
We started doing a bit because we drafted him a few times.
Grapple.
We all have daughters, so we would tell heartfelt stories about our daughters whenever we had to draft.
That was our penance for drafting him.
Well, I don't lower you down a notch as a threesome, but like I'd say that was a rough move. Like you could have gone almost to like anywhere else. So like
we wanted Justin Herbert, Mark. We got sniped.
You're welcome.
We got sniped.
Judges.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we do have a few other rooting interests in this game though. We have Javonte Williams. Not holding out hope there, but we have Ladd and Joshua Palmer, and that hasn't reflected here, but Ladd just had a pretty nice catch. So, we got some fun stuff to sweat.
Ladd has been like, I mean, I don't know how many people jumped on him out of the gate. I think you would have like in a draft situation, but like, I do find it interesting. Like, I can't think of too many teams where like, we're going to base our entire passing game around the idea that this rookie might work.
Right.
And
it worked.
It did work. It did work. I think a lot, other stuff's not. They also got, I think like Quentin Johnson has only 4 more receivers, have more touchdowns than him. That doesn't mean that he's not a frustrating individual, but like I do believe in them in the sense that like a couple years from now, they're going to have the roster they want. Like, I've always thought, like, I'll tell you one story. Like I was at in Indianapolis after the combine in Indianapolis, I was at a pizza joint in the airport, and I randomly sat down next to Greg Roman. And this was at the end of the Niners, Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman world. And like, he was, I think a couple of beers in, like, a little frustrated with the power structure with the Niners and felt like he was not getting the recognition he deserved. So, and it was a little bit about Harbaugh. I think they're just like, clashing, like I was always surprised that they joined back together, that they came back together and do this.
Well, so then is that before he was the Bills head coach?
Well, no. Roman from there moved on to this was ages ago. This is like end of Niners era. Niners era. Yeah.
That was so then 2011, 2014 he was with the Niners, and then 2015 is when he was with the Bills.
Exactly. So it was pre-Bills. It was more like literally at the tail end of. It was the first combine I went to, and like I'm eating. He asked. He was like, "Would you like a piece of my pizza?" That was the other weird thing that happened. It was like, no, but like I'll keep talking with you. But like he liked to espouse his opinions, and like I think they love each other. Number one, I really do. I'm not speaking negative of Greg Roman, but like I think he was just frustrated. I think Greg Roman works for about 3 years wherever he goes. It's about 3 years. Then it kind of tires out a little. But like we'll see where we go here. But like I'd love to see where they are in year 2. I really would.
That's some really good insight. That's not the first like airport anecdote we've had from one of our guests. We had Robert Mays on last year telling us about a Travis Kelce airport anecdote, if I recall, right?
Oh yeah. They bumped into, I forget what the story was, but they bumped into him in the airport.
When you go to the so it's Indianapolis. It's a small, quaint, beautiful. And I live in LA, so LAX is like Al Qaeda is in charge of LAX. I feel like at this point, but like if you go to Indianapolis, like it's very quaint, and there's only
it's
a
got a
couple
nice
gates.
downtown. I've been there once. It's like it's cool. It's like feels,
like that's
welcome.
that's why the combine works, because you are all like compact, but then you go to the airport and everyone like has certain flights, and like you are sitting around agents, you're sitting around, and I'm not the biggest like talker to these people, but like you will be shocked by who you would be with, and they're drinking beers, and then they start to talk. So
nice.
Sorry, Mark. We're a little distracted here too. With we put Marvin Mims in our pick'ems for tonight. But unfortunately, we have receptions and not yards. But we're still in good shape.
Huge play, yeah.
That was awesome.
There's that design backfield, yeah. So Pat, I wonder if that's why you weren't seeing a like strict backfield alignment on a lot of those numbers you're digging into, is that he does the motion, and so that winds up getting
he might be it might count as like
as
out wide. Yeah, that's interesting.
Huge play.
I'm watching this too.
Let's get Javonte for
catch the ball.
Come on.
Well, that was a huge play.
Such a frustrating year.
I mean, I will say that Bo absolutely rocketed that in there. It didn't need to be a laser.
No, he did.
That's such a Sean Payton play right there too.
So because we talked about Deshaun Watson, I now have my daughter with me.
Vivian.
Brittany's trying to eat dinner, so she dropped.
Well, look at that little incredibly cute human person. That's amazing. That's
Vele.
Wow.
Vele.
Bo Nix is cooking.
Mark, you were talking about when your Browns fandom started, and I was just curious. Like those are probably some good days. I think you said 86, right? And I pull up their franchise encyclopedia to kind of remind myself, because I know that
it was 86. So here's the weird thing: I lived in Connecticut, and everyone around me like New York, like right near New York. So it's like everyone's a Jets fan or a Giants fan. Like Dan, who co-host, like Dan was a Jets fan, but like everyone followed one of those two teams. And back then, this is like just about a couple years after like the Civil War. So like teams weren't all on, you couldn't follow every team. You couldn't watch it unless you like, so
years after the Civil War.
It really was. But like the Jets and Giants, it was like Bill Parcells Giants and a Jets team that like was going through stuff. But like, I had a friend, my best friend, that moved in to my middle school from Cleveland, and we started our own TV station at the school and stuff. But like, he was a Browns fan. He's like, you've got to follow this Browns team, and I was a Cowboys fan at the time. Like, that's really weird. Like,
are you guys still on speaking terms?
Yeah, we are. You know what? Here's the weird thing. He became a Chiefs fan about 8 or 9 years ago, because he's a radio DJ and he moved to Kansas City, so became a Chiefs fan. But like, he got me into the Browns, and he was like, watch them tonight. And it was a Monday night game in '86 against the Dolphins, and it was Marino versus Bernie Kosar, and the Browns like ripped their clothing off and just destroyed them, like in an island game back then on Monday Night Football. And it was like, I was like, I'm all in. Like this team, like if you've ever heard of like Ernest Biner or Kevin Mack or Webster Slaughter, like these were my dudes. And Bernie Kosar, who I know a little bit at this point, just like through life, but like wonderful guys. And Marty Schottenheimer was the coach, like one of the great motivational speakers. So it was just everything that kind of fed me. And like, they lost on the drive, and then the next year they
was a Biner fumble set that up, right?
Well, no, the drive was where Elway, like the Browns should have won in Cleveland, and then Elway goes 98 yards on 11 or 12 plays in the last 2 minutes, and then they go to overtime. Actually, people think that ended the game. Then they go to overtime, but then the Broncos win the game. But then the next year they go back. The Browns go back to the AFC title game against Denver again. And go to Denver, and they're down 21-3. And I watched this at a house of with a mom and a dad and a friend and another friend who are all Broncos fans. Nightmare, like a mom screaming for the Broncos. Like I'm gonna go I'm literally gonna go Zodiac killer on this entire house. But I'm fine. I'm keeping it chill. But they're down 21-3, and they tied it. I think it was 31-31. and the Broncos scored, and the Browns had to go drive to tie it up. And this was a crazy ass game. That's when Biner fumbled.
That's when Biner fumbled.
That's when Biner
Back in
fumbled,
time.
and it literally broke my heart. It broke my heart. Like I called my dad on the phone and back then the phone was like, it's like you got to do the spin number thing, like
sadly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like a disaster. Like what's my phone number? And like there's no, it's like and my dad, I was like, Dad, is it real? Like, do you think it could change? And he's like, it's real. Like it really happened. And like so, then I was like, my move was like things went wrong. So I'm even more in. I'm more in now. I'm coming more in. So like that was the mistake. I should have at that point jumped and been like.
So I'm looking.
Chiefs look pretty good.
Yeah. I'm looking this up right now, and then 2 years later they go back to the conference championship. I didn't realize this. So it's three times in 4 years, and lost to Denver again.
They lost, and so that's the one that Browns fans would call the blowout. It wasn't really a blowout, but it was kind of like that one. Just Bernie Kosar actually had a staph infection on his hand and had to have a weird kind of a. I'd call it like a plastic, I don't know, some sort of contraption on his hand, on his throwing hand to throw the ball because he had a staph infection, which, that waylays people's for weeks at this point. So it was a complete disaster. And like that one wasn't so close. It was like the third act. Like, it's like, we're kind of tying things up. We get that this movie's over, and the movie was over at that point. And then they moved. Well, then they were 3 and back then it was like 16. It was like they were 3-13 the next year. And then the Belichick came in and really started to build a beautiful team. And that's when I had this thing in college where I took a coaching class and I had to write to coaches, and I wrote to Belichick and he wrote back and forth, and we wrote back and forth to each other. And now I'm pretty convinced it could have been his secretary or like an undersecretary, but we wrote back and forth. But then the Browns went to the playoffs in '94 as the team that I believe outside of the Steelers allowed the second fewest points in the league, and I always believed in Belichick. I really did. And then they moved. Then they moved to the Baltimore. And if you go look at that Baltimore 2000 team, so first of all, Ozzie Newsome was the Browns' general manager. There was no general manager. It was Belichick, but it was like Belichick and Ozzie Newsome were running the Browns. And then they fire Belichick, and Ozzie Newsome goes to Baltimore and becomes the greatest general manager of all time.
15 years, yeah.
Right, yeah. We know that whole story, that there were like 82 people attached to that Browns team. But my plan after college was to I didn't have a car. I was going to ride a bicycle, and I went to Miami of Ohio. I was like, I'm going to ride a bicycle and drive and become I'll do anything for the Browns. I'll mow their grass and But then they moved a semester before I graduated. They moved to Baltimore. And it was like, what a disaster at this point. So
brutal.
So you start doing podcasts at that point. Like that's the next. Yeah. That's for all of us when disappointment lands. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You were talking about it's like you've been in this relationship for so many decades that you should have left by now. But that's the period where you're trying to win them back, and then you want them back. So then you're stuck for good at that point. They came back.
I do want to be loyal, and it's like I couldn't imagine rooting for another team. Here's the thing: if I picked up the Green Bay Packers, they lose in the Super Bowl to the Browns, and then I'd be like, you are a shameful individual. So it's like I'm gonna ride it out and see what happens. But it is a rough ride. We've all been down dark roads, and this has just been it just flat out. It's not even interesting. It's just unenjoyable.
Right. You could be bad, but you got to be bad and fun. That's what you're talking about.
They're not bad and fun is always I like that, but the Browns aren't bad and fun. They're just boring and unproductive.
Yeah.
How much has, obviously you guys shifting from being under the shield to now under Underdog, way more autonomy and independence, I assume. Has that shifted, how you guys approach things at all, or have you guys tried to maintain kind of the vibe you guys had before?
Well, it's a great question. It's funny because that Woody Johnson article came out today on The Athletic, right? And one of the reasons I'll say anything at this point, but one of the reasons that we separated from the NFL was that we annoyed Woody Johnson.
Really?
With something on our show. And when you annoy an owner and you work for the NFL, and by the way, I loved 99% of the people I work with at the NFL, and they gave me the chance of a lifetime. And I think that it's just that there's an insular, you can't say certain things. And I get that. And we played ball with that for more than a decade. But
Was Woody Johnson the shadowy league figure? Is that the
no, well, certainly. Like, well, yes, that's the definition. Like shadowy. Like, I mean, it's like an omnipresent nightmare up in the sky. But like, they were like, when you'd get in the crosshairs, like, it was just like you guys stopped talking, and like, and everyone there gets that, and like, you can't. I never was like, wow, I don't get it, and I'm gonna complain. Like, I really probably was like, wouldn't complain. Like, I get it, and like, I love to work here for the most part. But like, I think our show, which had always been kind of under the radar, and we could say what we wanted to. It could be like this, like we could say what we want, and no one was kind of monitoring it, and it became more monitored, and I think we got in their crosshairs a little bit more, and like it got a little suppressive, and like Dan is my brother, like he's my brother, like I love him. He's like I've called him like my favorite. He's like the best friend I'll ever have in media, and like it's a tough. We all know that like there's good people, bad people, all that stuff, right? But like when they didn't want to continue with us the way that we wanted to continue, like it was making a choice. And so I made a choice to go with him. I couldn't be more thrilled, like to be with Underdog, to be with it. And I'm not just saying that, like it's not even, it's Underdog, but it's just that like we're able, like I never even think about what we talk about now. And we're talking about a sport. We're talking about billionaires. Like, why do I need someone with handcuffs on me? Like, what am I'm supposed to be like licking their butt? Like, no, I'm not gonna. Like, I want to talk about it the way I want to, and so does Dan. And like, Dan is a creative fire. He really is. And like, in our own ways, we bring different things. But like, I couldn't be more happy. Like, I have thought about this. Like, I'll say this as the last comment. Like, it got stressful, you know. Like when you're somewhere for 10, 11 years, like it just gets kind of like in anything, it's just like. But like now it's like so fun to sign on to do our show. And like we have Connor Orr with us, who I'm sure you know. Like Connor is just an absolute joy. And like we spent the summer picking who we wanted to join us. And I think it's like with any endeavor, relationships, your wife, your girlfriend, your friends, like your whatever, it's like who do you really want to spend time with? Like we got to do that this time, so it feels great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, we've I've done stuff with Underdog for a long time, and you know the autonomy and the leash they give you to just hey do what you do, and we're happy to be a part of it. Makes it an awesome partnership.
How long have you guys been doing this though? Let me flip it around. I'd love to know how long you've been doing.
Pat and I started doing this like 2016 or 17 is when we started.
Yeah, somewhere
time
in that range. Yeah.
Yeah, like, things don't last that long. We all know, like things come and go in like 8 months. So like that's pretty wild. That's beautiful.
Well, the first thing Pat and I collaborated on, even before this podcast, was the Fantasyland, where we interviewed you and Lakeisha and Wes and all for that that episode. So that was actually the origin story to what this became. Was
I remember the day. I remember what room I was walking around doing that with you guys actually on my phone. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did an episode early on about high stakes, and we went out to Vegas and drafted a team together. And then we ended up doing a second episode about co-managing teams. And then we kind of just kept that rolling. And we wrote some articles and stuff. And then the next year we did a podcast about it. And that podcast morphed into this over time.
That's pretty cool. Well, that's the way I think now it's like we just create what we want to. There's no reason to be under the thumb of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who do you
did you know Woody was a big Madden player? Is that why is that what you guys said? He was playing too much Madden?
Am I a Madden player?
No, Woody Johnson. He's playing so much Madden. He knows the ratings.
Well, no, he's taking Madden ratings. Like, well, this guy is not. This is not a serious person in terms of the football world. I think we get that.
I wish that story would have been so much better for the fantasy football community if he's like, I see where Jerry Jeudy's ADP is in these drafts. He's going outside the top 10 rounds. Like, I can't have this guy.
Right. We went Madden instead, and it has very tangible, tactile anchor to anything. Yep. He is, I only saw him once in person, so I have no comment. He walked by me in an elevator, but like, it was just like, this is a rich person. You can feel the richness just coming off them. Like they don't, maids, servants come to me. Like, it's like, I don't,
So the chat points out, do you guys remember referencing a report by a man named Crack Rock?
Yeah, I do. I think it was well, no. Yes, I do. It was like a couple of years ago, I think. Who was it? Who came? It might have been Patrick Claybon, but like I think it was Patrick Claybon that like had,
that's right. Yeah.
Crack Rock had tweeted at him or got into his hemisphere, and he mentioned it on a show. Yeah.
Because I think it was because he bumped into Woody and had the skinny, to use his terms, on Aaron Rodgers going there.
You're right. I think he was essentially breaking news, and it was like because his name was Crack Rock, we're not quick to believe it, but like he was at, I believe, on location at some sort of resort where Woody
I think
was.
He was at a restaurant with his mom and saw Woody Johnson at another table and approached him.
Yeah, with Saleh, like it was like I think it was that sort of power circle, and you know what? He was right. Like
he was right.
I mean, we've got to be listening more to Crack Rock, I think, in general.
So, just to fill you in, one, no, we don't. But two, Crack Rock is part of the ship chasing orbit. We draft a team with him annually on here on this stream. And we knew him as just this crazy eccentric fantasy football player before he became an NFL insider and political reporter. So it's been a real thrill to see you guys and the rest of the NFL world reference him.
Pure joy.
I mean, I would say referenced him once, but like, I don't know if we did more. Like, so you're saying he's an
you don't regularly source Crack Rock?
No, no, like he came and went in my world, but that doesn't mean like that he's not important. But like, so are you saying that is he still an insider? Is he still operating on that front? Yeah.
He was adamant that he became kind of like a big deal this spring in Viking circles because the Vikings really wanted to get up for Drake May, and the kind of influences he claims is that he'll sometimes bump into Woody at lunch. He knows the Wilfs, so he's going to get Wilfs inside information.
Vikings,
and he claims to bump into Kraft in the Hamptons. So it's like it's kind of you've got the Kraft connection and the Wilfs connection. Like this guy might be the way we learn what's going to happen here.
Well, it's
so
a
the
spider
Vikings
web.
fans,
It's a real spider web. Yeah.
But
he's a New York socialite. He's told us the whole backstory of like his high school days and his sister's marriage.
Like he's got to be rich, right? He's a rich individual.
Very rich.
Sure. Well,
and he smokes a lot of weed, and he owns a dispensary or owned a dispensary.
He contains multitudes, Mark.
Yeah. Contains multitudes. He does. Okay. I tend to believe like if he's super rich and he's going to the Hamptons, some of it starts to make sense to me. So I'm willing to listen.
That was a win. He said he was very clear the Vikings were going to get their quarterback, and that the Patriots weren't going to move off of 3. You're like they're sitting there and taking May. So he
does have his heat check moments. You know, he'll pull up and shoot a 3 from the logo every once in a while. But occasionally he'll trade it. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited that you have connection, that you have an association with him. That it feels powerful. You can tap him when needed from
our perspective. Sources. It feels less powerful, but we like that it gives off that vibe. From the
other. Sure, powerful for someone. So yeah.
Oh man. So what's it look like for you? Because I mean, this past off season was when you guys were kind of getting synced up with Underdog, finding your footing, figuring out your next play. Now that you guys kind of have your setup, what does the off season look like for you guys?
Well, I mean, I think like you guys too, it's like our shows never stop. Maybe in June they slow down a little bit, but the NFL's kind of cooked into this thing where it's like no other sport will be allowed to exist in primary function beyond us. So like, there's league events. I think one thing is because we just had a biorhythm of how we worked and how we did our shows. Like there's the season, there's the playoffs, there's the Super Bowl, and then there's the off season. It's like none of that will change. We won't do less. I think it's more about like how do we do things that are new? I think that's probably what we're focused on. Like we do segments where we're more like feelings, emotion, loving sports. Like we grew up listening to WFAN, so it's like how do we make you feel something if you're a new football fan versus I love PFF, I love those guys. But it's like if you go to it's not analytics, it's not that. It's like we're more just like let's make it fun. And so it's like how do we do stuff that makes us not bored? We've been doing it for a long time, and so it's like new segments, new ideas, and like Dan is a genius at that. Like once in a while, I'll hit like a double with an idea but like, I'm mostly more like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. But I think what does it look like? We just keep going. Like, I think we've always had a feeling like you just keep going, like produce 300. Well, I don't know the number, like 200, 300 shows a year, and just like there's no slowing down. And then at some point they're going to take us and throw us out of a moving car, and then that would be the pivot point.
Then you got to roll.
That's the same thing that happened with us. Like ship chasing, we used to like power down for a few months in the off season, and then it would be like, oh, do you guys want to take like a month off? And then be like, you want to take 2 weeks off? And now it's just like, all right, we just
do you go not?
Yeah.
Do you churn?
We'll take like occasionally we'll take a week off. We're like all traveling or something 1 week, but it's not planned. It's kind of just like how it falls. We can't do that next week.
Because it's the same thing, like, with fantasy now. Let's go, lad.
Yes.
There we are.
Yeah, with fantasy, I mean, you know how it goes too. It's like, and Pat and Gretsch do a lot of, getting the prospect stuff. So then, the combine, and then, Underdog's going to have, last year, Underdog dropped its first tournament before the Super Bowl had even happened. So people are already drafting by the end of January. And so it's just like, it never stops.
Well, I think also like it makes sense because it's like the free agency cycle or rumors or whispers. Like if you're into fantasy, and I think fantasy to me is like, I'm with my high school friends and we're going to compete against each other and have a thread that's I'm not going to show the thread to everyone in my life, but we'll have a thread. But like, you're talking nonstop, and it's like, it's competition. And so like little free agency whispers and moves, then real free agency, then the draft. It's like everything starts over. And like football's found a really good, I think, thematic way to own your entire calendar year. They really have. And like, it's by design of how it works, but it's also by their greed, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm mostly
the season
okay with
itself is just getting longer and longer. We're going to be at 18 games, and we're going to are they going to put 2 buys?
That's where I feel like
7 months.
That feels like they need to get that part of it under control, because I think we're good. We're good with the 17 games. We don't need the 18th. I know they're probably going to add it.
You are a fish swimming upstream right now. I'm with you. I'm swimming with you, but we are going to get nuked because like it's going to go multiple games. Like I think we're going to have some sort of like NFL special on like Easter Sunday. Like they're going to find a way to completely take
We're
us
the
over.
fish swimming upstream, flopping around, and they're the bear.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
just
they
right. They're the bear. They are the bear. And
yes, they are.
The thing that I really feel like a fish swimming upstream about is just, hey man, Sunday, that's football. Football's Sunday, right? Monday, fine. Thursday, here we are. But
fine.
Can we leave it there?
No.
Do we have to go to Fridays? Do we have to go?
How about Wednesday?
Saturday? They've always done the Saturdays.
Well, aren't Sundays the worst? Sundays are the worst. Like is the weakest slate now, and like I think like for the first time ever, and this is not new information, but like the Chiefs play on every single day except Tuesday. What football team has ever done that before? What has happened? This is not the New York Mets. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we play on every single day but Tuesday this season. Like, the one thing I've ever learned about the NFL is like, once you start doing this, you're never doing this. Like, you are going to add and add and add. And like, if you don't like 2 Monday night games, I hope you don't have a problem with 4 or whatever it is they do now. Like, it's like I just feel like it's going to become
4 more than 2. To me, it's like the little because. Part of the reason I love the NFL so much is like the games are all on at once. Like I'm going to sit down and just have my favorite sport just hit me in the face for 7 hours. Like,
well, it's for the working man. The working man is like, I'm at a factory, not myself, but like I'm at a factory Monday through Friday, and then my games are on Sunday, and I go drink my beers. And now it's like, now they're on every night of the week, and it's like I need 17 streaming services. Like we'll have a game on the Hallmark Channel soon enough. It's like, where does it stop? And like it will not slow down until until we become if another country attacks our country, it will slow down largely at that point.
That seems safe.
That's what it will take.
My brain went to like this dystopian future where it's like a 30-week season, but 20 bye weeks, and it's just nonstop rolling football year round. There's
16 island games a week. We're just always watching an island.
The 4 of us must comment on everything that happened, and that's how we'll work.
Exactly. Man, I didn't see that play, but it seemed like Herbert.
It was a
if he
Palmer.
just
It was an
a
underthrow.
little more.
UJ.
That's a Palmer tutty. I like
Was
how our
it-
best ball
well, I thought it
mania
was
team has
TJ.
been
Was it
inches away.
Palmer?
Palmer's been getting usage for sure. It's been looking okay, but yeah, intercepted.
I'm worried about the Chargers. Like without J.K. Dobbins, they seem to have lost their
mojo.
Yeah,
They have, yeah.
I don't
That's
know
how
what
we played it. We took the Gus unders, Gus lowers.
I knew what they were supposed to be, but they're not it right. And I also think Herbert, I think, is just getting shot up hardcore before the game, pain wise.
Yeah.
That's just not a good throw.
Mm-mm.
That's got to be somewhere other than there. I mean, it's got to be high and over the top or not that late.
That's not him. Like that's like that tells me like, and I'm not some sort of doctor. Like I play one on a podcast, but like that's lower body issues creating.
That was not a good throw.
Man.
Yeah, they've had no running game since Dobbins has went out. He's had to carry the entire team. And
yeah,
I mean, that doesn't work in 2024 NFL where, you know, the secondaries are all dropping back and the good offenses are running the ball against these light boxes and lighter defenders and everything. I mean, it's tough to do, to just stand back there and throw every single snap. And you can't run the ball.
And I feel like Denver's defense, like I think they're not an exciting team to the eye in terms of the overall thing, but like they could steal a playoff game from someone with like a day where things just go right for their defense. It wouldn't be a great narrative for all of us, but like they're a weird team.
They are.
It's funny because we're doing like all these playoff best ball drafts right now, and in them you kind of have to like think you know who the seeds are, and then every week it changes like who the actual like the way the seeds are going to break down, and it has just been a reminder of like how crazy the actual playoffs are going to be. We keep thinking we know exactly what's going to happen in the playoffs, but a team like Denver winning a couple playoff games wouldn't really be that strange.
No,
it feels less volatile than other years, like right where we are right now in terms of like it's a lot set. But in terms of if like I just always feel like if Pittsburgh got a couple home playoff games, they could beat anyone. Maybe not with T.J. Watt, he's going to play, but like with George Pickens not in there, that's not true. But
yeah,
like
that's a big deal,
right? Denver though is weird. Like they might annoy many people because I think they're just not on our mind. I feel like they're just the team I keep forgetting is still hanging around big time with like a legit record.
What seed are they going to get, Pat? You've been digging into all these scenarios. Are they going to be on the road? They'll be a wild card. Are they going to play someone pretty tough? Are they going to play like Pittsburgh?
Well, this Ravens game is like, if they beat the Ravens on Saturday, and
then we're talking about the 3.
That's insane. Yeah.
What's your dream Super Bowl matchup, Mark?
You know what? Like, of course, I'm not unusual. This is so cliche, but I want it to be Bills Lions. But then I'm like the loser of that is like ready to like so literally. Yeah, they're gonna like jump. They want to jump off a building because it's.
This is a Browns fan talking.
Yeah,
well, you get inside the psyche of the loser already.
Yeah, they're in that world. So it's like part of me would be like Lions beat the Chiefs, where like we all feel like and the Chiefs are not the Patriots or they're not Darth Vader, but it's like. We're tired of the Chiefs and like the Lions go do it, but I'm pretty concerned about the Lions right now. I think for me, growing up in the prime of my early fandom, watching the Bills lose 4 Super Bowls under Marv Levy, who is the sweetest, like most incredible man, like just a wonderful guy. Like I'd love to see the Bills just beat anyone. Like I kind of think we just need it. Like let's flush it out before the nation takes a massive dive bomb and we just get that done, you know?
We just get that. Yeah. Now, I think if it's Bills Lions, I think I'm rooting for the Lions because what the Lions are doing, especially if they get there with all the injuries they've had, it just feels like they're kind of capturing lightning in a bottle. Where the Bills have Josh, and I would love to see Josh win a Super Bowl. I'd be psyched to see him win one this year. But if it's Bills versus Lions, I think I'm like, you'll get back here, Bills. You'll win one.
They've got a better chance to.
Yeah.
Right. I get that. I don't know.
Also
they've been really close.
we know way more insufferable Bills fans than we do insufferable Lions fans. So that,
That's true.
probably plays
you do.
into it
Well,
for Pat there.
that would affect your opinion for sure.
Yeah.
They're not
It's
actually
funny,
that
the
insufferable.
Lions fans, I was thinking about, like, I mean, the Tigers haven't been good in a long time. The Pistons, they won a championship like 20 years ago, but they haven't been good for a long time. Like
Tough city.
But then Buffalo doesn't have any other teams, so that's why they're all just such.
There'd be no Bills. There'd be no Buffalo Bills if we started the league today with all our like concerns about,
I guess they're all big
financial
Sabres fans. They're all hockey people, probably.
Yeah. The Bills would not be like both of them are so great. My thing is more like there's such great stories, both of them. It's like I almost can't handle them playing each other, and the lead up to it, like it's too much. Like give me a villain. I want like a villain and a good guy. I don't want two great good guys going against each other. It's like we don't like we've. That feels.
Are the Chiefs the best villain at this point? Like,
I don't think there is. I don't think they are. Like they're not villains. They're not
villainous,
like,
but
they're a little tedious.
We're sick of it.
We're tired of it. We're a little tired of it. But like they're not.
Yeah.
Nothing about them to me personally speaks like, wow, I can't wait
No,
to see
I agree.
them assassinated.
They don't have the Brady Belichick where
They
just
don't.
inspire
They don't.
hate from people.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not that deep in. We're not
see
that
them
deep
lose
in yet.
one. You can
Yeah.
You
lose.
guys, we have a really interesting thing here. There was the kickoff. They tried to do the fair catch. You guys, they've talked about the fair catch spot kick for years, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was a kick catch interference penalty. I believe we're about to get a spot kick here.
Oh, with no time left, too.
On time down. I'm not sure what's happening here, but this might be a really unique play, and I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, this is
Because the rules always been if they fair catch at the end of the half, even if there's no time left, you get like a spot kick, I believe, like on an untimed down or something. They always talk about it on the broadcast. I've never seen it happen. I think they were trying to fair catch, but there was kick catch interference.
Oh, this is sexy. This is cool.
Yeah. It's
Half the stadium are not rooting
Guys
for the
practicing
Chargers.
over here.
Taker the kicker.
They were just showing the people that run on the field were not like a bunch of linemen. I think they still have 11 dudes stand on the field, but like Hassan Haskins was out there. He's not a part. Yeah, look, it's a kickoff, but I think it's for 3 points. I think they're a kickoff.
What?
I don't.
Oh,
yeah, because they just received a punt. This is a 3-point kickoff.
Kickoff?
Look at it. It says in the bottom, 57-yard field goal attempt.
You're right.
I've never seen this. Someone's saying it happened in Arizona before. I've never seen it.
This year in
This is
Arizona?
crazy.
Oh my God, this is.
So there's no he doesn't have to worry about anyone blocking or anything.
No, right. It's like a weird, quirky rule people have talked about for years on like social media and stuff. This is just a kickoff for 3 points.
Drilled
He made it.
Wow.
Wow.
What was that?
What a moment in time.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
You see something new on the Shipcast, right?
Yeah.
Every time.
Wow.
Look at that.
That was
Thursday
good.
night nose drama.
70.
It doesn't have quite the same ring to it. Dicker the spot kicker.
You're right. You're right. We got to workshop that.
Well, Mark, you are more than welcome to hang out with us if you got to go. We normally fire up the Pick 'em lobby here, build out some sweats for the second half, but I also want to be respectful of your time here.
Well, I probably should go just because I've got our other show after this, but I would love to come. Well, there's not that many more of these, but like, I don't know when you gather, but I would love to come chat with you again anytime. We're all together. We're teammates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love to have
maybe
you.
This is a blast, yeah.
Maybe
I want to
something like
leave you with the stat that you brought the unique element here. The last time anybody made a fair catch field goal was in 1976 in the NFL.
Unlike you, I was alive then. So,
Mark, let the people know. Obviously, Heed the Call, podcast app of choice, YouTube. Anything else people should know about?
I mean, I guess I'm on Twitter at my name, Marc Sessler, but like I don't like spend a ton of time on that. Like I really just say follow our show. We've got a Patreon attached to Heed the Call that's got a lot of non-football, like interesting, fun stuff on there. Last night with Connor, we watched a Hallmark Christmas movie as a live broadcast, and you could tell what that probably was like. Like that's the kind of stuff we're trying to do, and like I think we should cross paths again where we have you guys come and join us too, and we can.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'd love
That'd
to,
be great.
especially heading into the off season. So, I mean, this was a joy, and I don't know. We just want to make it fun. Like that's all we really care about. Like we feel. I think it's like I'll say one last thing. Like we didn't have a job for like 18 weeks covering football, and I was like, all my cynicism about the whole thing kind of melted away. I was like, oh, I kind of like doing that. Like yeah, I do remember what it was like to work for like a lower level IBM. Like that wasn't fun. So like we'll keep doing it. We'll join forces again, and there we go.
Awesome. All right. Marc Sessler, heed the call. Thank you again so much for joining us. And we will be sure to sync up here in the near future. Enjoy the holidays and the rest of the playoffs.
You too. Fare thee well, guys.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Mark. All right, guys. Let's see here. Let me get us into the Pick'em lobby.
Roger Sherman, who I think was with the Ringer for a while. He's been at a lot of places. He's the guy that he just tweeted out in all caps, "I'm waiting for this all my life." He quote tweeted himself from like 2019, and he has all these other ones from like all the way back to 2017, and it's like all caps. Bill Belichick, this is your moment. Do the fair catch kick. Like he's been rooting for it for so long. There's some people that have tracked this and have always wanted this moment. It's very a quirk of NFL lore just happened. I'm very exhilarated.
Real quick before we hop in the Pick'em lobby, I'm very excited about one of these that we posted in the Discord. It's Marvin Mims higher than 2.5 receptions. We kept that the same. He's at 2. Ladd, we slid to 89.5. He's at 57. And then Estime, we slid to 49.5. This was like a 50 to pay almost 1,400. That feels extremely live right now. So I'm excited about that. And then the core, we just have to, we're on good pace. Obviously, Ladd needs 3 more yards. Mims needs 1 more catch. And then we just need Gus to stay chilling. So,
I mean, Gus is at 8 carries for 18 yards. I know that looks scary, but he's so ineffective and they're trailing. I feel like we're not halfway to losing that. I feel like we're 2/3 likely to hit that personally.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing would just be like what happened on that first drive where he catches a screen pass that goes like way more than it should.
Sure.
Let's see though, any kind of other macro game flow angles before we like drill down. I definitely like last week or previous week we did a touchdown one, something with that is always kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I like the way we've always played these. As far as the macro game flow stuff, I do really like the Chargers to open it up and pass a ton. Like Herbert, his passing yards are only another 130. He's already at 140.
I like
and
that.
It's 270. Like he's going to throw for more than 130 in the second half, in my opinion.
That's
they're going to go out.
What if we play that with a Ladd TD since we don't have any TD stuff with Ladd? All of our other yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
And then we just need to find a Denver angle.
What's Estime at? We could double down on that.
Did they not? Are they not giving us Estime right now? Okay, there he is.
Okay.
Wasn't showing in my screener there. So they got him at
20
rush yards
with a lead.
Yep. They're pegging him for 6 more rush attempts. They have him at no receptions.
I like all those. The rush plus receiving is only 2 extra yards than the rushing, so you could just say like, oh yeah, I mean you could play the receptions as a 0.5 as well. The rush attempt seems like a lock, doesn't it?
Yeah, the rush attempts is nice.
Well, Watson did come back though, right?
He did come back.
Yeah. Because
the fact that Estime's been running so effectively is the part of it where I'm like, they got to lean into that a little bit.
I will say though, guys, like from not saying we have to do this. I guess we could go back to it. Like we do have a spot where we could like really nicely hedge too, like even playing an under on the rushing just because that. But not saying we have to do it on this one, but it might be worth like splitting. Like I would even be down to run this 2 ways, one with the Estime lower and one with it higher, because then the lower helps that other one.
Sure.
You're saying because we're in such good position on that other one, we should hedge it a little, and I don't think that's a bad idea.
But I'm saying if the Herbert and Ladd stuff hits, you're still making making money on this one.
Right.
Let me just see here what this pays as is. So this is a 10.7. So it's like 50 to win, 537.
Okay.
I think that's smart. I mean,
let's just see anything.
I'm
else
pretty
over
into
there.
estimate. I was just getting all so excited.
I don't know if I want to
getting
hedge
a lot
it.
of
I
work.
guess I don't
Yeah.
mind not doubling down. I don't think I'm ready to hedge the estimate one.
It's more
Still need a
too like
men's
I think
patch,
we
still need
all
a-
like the
Yeah.
Herbert and Lad stuff of just making sure we find one that we actually
Producer
really
Nick
like.
just said there's a 30% boost in the lobby. He said he didn't know if you have it too, but
I think I already used that one.
Okay.
I don't have it. Nope. All right, let's see here. I mean, what did you guys read on the Javonte stuff? I mean, that's a big number they're putting there for him.
Yeah, I like the lower on him because he has the 15-yard carry and then only 2 other carries. He's got 4 catches already.
I'm happy to take the lower on him, which is kind of a way to play estimate too.
Like they're not actually.
What if
they started Estime in this game? They're not using a lot of Javonte, even though he did have that one long run. 3 carries. They used Watson, so it's Estime has 5 carries. Javonte has 3. Watson has 2. Mims has 1. It's like Javonte's just like a rotation player.
What if we run it twice? Once with the Estime higher, once with the Javonte lower, and then we can easily hit it both ways.
Love it.
That's beautiful.
Okay. And you guys like doing just rushing yards for Javonte, or do you want the extra padding with rushing receiving?
I like the extra padding. That's 20 yards. He has 4 catches for 14. He doesn't break plays in the pass game. He's got to catch like 7 balls to get those 20 yards. That's huge. Oh, he's already at 36. I'm sorry. The 14, that's why there's a 20-yard gap. He's already got 14 receiving yards. I'm misreading.
So how many more yards are we taking on?
6.
So it's
taking on 6 more.
So then I think I just want the rushing.
Let's just do the rushing. Yep.
Okay. So let's run this. We'll run this once here with the Javonte lower. I'll drop the link in the chat. And then we'll run it once with the Estime. And do you guys want the extra receiving juice with Estime, or do you just want to run the rushing?
Or do we want the attempts?
Or the attempts? I mean, the way he's been, his yards per carry has been pretty good in this game. I kind of want
it has been 6 attempts. He's going to get the 22 rushing yards. I feel like you'd want the yards because he could also get the 22 on 4 attempts. You know,
right.
I think I like just doing the rushing yards. It's weird, but it's only 2 more yards. But they haven't used
Watson and Javonte and all. Yeah,
yeah.
I like rushing.
He might be the 4th guy in the passing game out of the backfield, right? With Mims too.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
I love that. I love that combo.
That was very fun.
Yeah, Herbert, Lad Tutty, and then playing the Broncos backs both ways feels good. Looks like they're projecting. What does Fidel have in the first half? 2 for 22.
Which is really weird, Pete, because when he had that first run, I was like, oh, you nailed that. And he looked great, and they have not leaned into that despite Gus looking terrible. Gus had a couple good runs early, and every other carry has been stuffed at the line for Gus since like that first drive.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. Or that first touchdown drive, I should say. He had 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, and they had a 3-and-out right away where he had a 4-yard. So he had 15 rushing yards by the end of that touchdown drive, which they had a 3-and-out and then a touchdown drive on their second drive. He's only at 18 now. Like, he's not gotten anywhere since that really early usage.
Yeah.
Oh, they're saying, did you not see Gus limped off?
Yeah, everyone talked about that, and then someone said he came back in after limping off. So I don't know. I've seen conflicting comments about that.
Is there any other way that you like playing this, Pete? Like another angle you're seeing?
The not specific macro. I mean, I do think I still like we did Sutton Tutty in one of them, like now getting up to 2.5x on a Sutton touchdown. seems solid to me. Like I would be down to do like Ladd Tutty, Sutton Tutty. Just play this game
fun.
like open up a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a great.
What about do they have Knicks rushing? That's one we never got on, but he's been moving
The
around.
projection refreshing.
I guess with them being in the lead, I'm
a little less into it
out on
because it's about dropbacks. His rushing comes on scrambles, so you need dropbacks.
Right.
But it's like
he only has the 2 carries. They've both been for 15 and 10 yards. They've both been like he's gotten into space, and you're like, ooh, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
But he only has the 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see.
I'm a little bit
Projection's
like
still refreshing. I don't know why they're not.
Ray Wershing, Prime Stories, first fair kick, free kick made field goal since 1976. Ray Wershing was the last guy to do it. That's a kicker in 1976. Ray Wershing. I mean, come on. Could there have been a better 1970s kicker name?
What's that? Sounds like an episode that John Boyce needs to cover because he does the Scorigami series. Seems right up his alley.
The secret base stuff. Yeah.
I don't know why. At least we snuck in our ones here before the entire lobby went down.
They should do a long like a history of the Browns. They did a history of my Seattle Mariners, and they went through how weird of a lifespan the Seattle Mariners team has had, and it was like a whole series. It was like 3 hour-long episodes or something. I absolutely loved it with all those visuals and stuff and all these quirks about. You learn about like these like relief pitchers getting in a fight in the 1980s and all this like random stuff, and then also the stuff that you knew. And anyway, just a super funny.
Do you guys want to lock this in? We could also include the Herbert with this if if we're committed to that. Sure. Now we have just run this Herbert thing 3 ways. This is a 28x. That's pretty.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
That's good. Let's do it.
I'm gonna grab another drink.
All right, there's one more for you guys. Same core, just with the Sutton Tutty in there as well. All right.
There's Estimate. Right off
Estimated
the
start.
rip.
Great.
Beautiful. Nice little 6-yard run there.
Didn't he get the first carry of the game too?
Yeah. This guy, you see this guy? Is Hayden Hurst active? I really need 3 tutties from him.
I thought I did see he was activated for this game.
Well, I don't. He doesn't have any tutties yet. There's Watson.
This is one of the most hilarious rotations. It's like you talk about teams that rotate a drive or a series, or and it's just like no, every play.
carry. You bet. As soon as you're tackled, you're up. You're looking to the sidelines. You're doing the I'm out. Okay.
Yeah.
I was grabbing a drink, but Estime gave us a good run there right to start. You said?
Yeah, and then they immediately brought Watson in.
Oh, now we got Mims.
Nice.
God, let's lock up this.
Let's
Mims
get that
early.
catch. They're gonna hand this off to him. Oh no,
they're in the screen. Franklin.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
He's really excited that he finally caught a pass.
We all are.
I've got him live in something, one of the like puppies or something. And I was like, well, that's
I advanced some big boards and I just assume he must be on there.
my vote to be this year's AT Perry, wasn't it like week 18 AT Perry went off last year? Like that's gonna be the Troy Franklin. Like he's gonna go for like 200.
Oh man,
in week 18.
In week 18, that's perfect. Oh, Mims in the backfield again.
Oh my God, Mims, come on.
No, don't do that. At least he picked it up.
This team has 19 running backs, and we have Marvin Mims fumbling pitches in the backfield.
Sean Payton. He's one of the biggest coaching enigmas, man. Like you either love him or you hate him, kind of a thing. Like I within the same games, I sometimes I don't know how to ever say I love him, but like kind of admire some of the stuff that he does. And then I'm just like, God, you get over yourself, please.
It is interesting. Oh, Mims is back in the backfield again.
Oh my God, another toss on the very next play.
Oh,
amazing. Throw it to Mims. He could have chucked that inside to Mims. Mims getting a lot of run here.
I was thinking about Peyton the other day because of how well Russ has done, in another system. But then at the same time, well, that point's cut short.
It was like, nope.
Not gonna speak over that. I think he needs a specific type of quarterback. He's got a system that the quarterback better be able to run his system.
Mm-hmm. And I think Nick's is kind of that dude. Like that was the thing that some of us did talk about this offseason. Like I've seen some comments that are like, no one expected this from the Broncos. I'm like, dude, stealing lines, I took their win total over as a ladder, and they've all hit. Because like for some of the like that, I mean, like Siegel was really on it as well. There's some people that talking about Peyton felt hamstrung by Russ Wilson last year. They were hiding Russ Wilson, and you go to a rookie who people had a lot of question marks about, and I understand people say, well, they're going to get worse, but they were still like 7-10 or something with Russ as a quarterback that they basically didn't trust at all. And then this year, you go to a quarterback that actually has the potential to fit, even if he's not a better quarterback necessarily, but he fits better. He's like, that's the way I remember writing it up in like the offseason signal stuff is he might just be a better fit for what Sean Payton needs to do. And if Payton's able to I do think he's a reasonably good coach at like getting results, like keeping games close. And that's why he went 7-10 last year, even though he didn't even trust his quarterback. Right. Like they had a good defense last year, but it wasn't this good. Their defense has gotten a lot better too. But I mean, they're a playoff team. They're like, if you can run this offense reasonably well, that you're going to be a playoff team because their D's good, Yeah,
you don't see him make like a ton of dumb mistakes either, which obviously speaks to the coaching.
The other thing, Ben, we talked about we had a Ravens game on here. We were prepping for stuff, and I was talking about the open scores, and I was like, it's kind of funny because all these dudes have like high open scores, and like, what's more likely that they're all like the Ravens just found the best route runners in the league, or there's a scheme here that's like getting these guys open. And so I was looking at open score and yak score from a team level is a way to kind of like try to measure scheme a little bit. And New Orleans has a few of the best scores with combining that in that way.
That was a Mims target that went into the stands.
If Mims was 19 feet tall, he might have had a crack at that.
Sorry, what were you saying, Pat?
No, I built this little scheme score thing, and it has several of the New Orleans seasons, but only when Peyton was there. It dries up. It dries up after 2019. So as soon as he's gone, or maybe 2020 is the last one, but I think he was there for that. So it's like all the Peyton years, and then once he's gone, like it's over. So, he's I think doing some stuff. But he needs you to do the stuff he knows how to do. As
Mims, got it. There's a third.
Let's go.
Wide receiver.
That. That's awesome.
They were all those really high catch rate passes too. Couple wide receiver screens and a swing.
Yep.
Welcome to the stream
with 4, right? We need 4.
Thank you.
Oh, we do have a stretch. That's right.
Yeah, we do have a stretch where we have it to 4 that also needs the Gus lower to stay in check and then Ladd to hit 89.5. So got some really nice things cooking right now.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do
exciting?
Gretchen, you want to do a "This Is Why I'm Hot" rendition? If we hit
this is why I'm hot. I was just thinking about it. Yeah,
that feels so long ago.
Fly.
How's your week going, Steph? You got best ball pod fever?
Yeah, I do. I got 12 teams through total. I got
Awesome.
3 BBMs and
Nice.
estimate unique on 2 of them. Where I'm the
Nice.
only
There
one
you
in the
go.
pod with them. I have Josh Palmer in one for some reason. So it's funny how these teams end up. But so yeah, so the game's going decent here for me. It's looking, I mean, more than I was expecting to get if estimate, in this week, possibly. So nice to
Yeah.
have a little cushion, and
There you
hopefully
go.
we get some pick'ems. So
Yeah. The are you done with did you do a column this week?
no, we stopped for the season now
Yeah. There you
because
go.
most people aren't doing waivers through the playoffs, really.
Right. Just if you're in like your own home leagues. No more high stakes waivers.
Yeah.
I mean, and even then, it's like one team.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And you managed it well. So, you'll be
I'm
I
like
know.
I'm like you can message me in Discord if you have a specific question.
That was like we were doing I do the LG show for Fantasy Life, and the producers come up with these topics, and one of them was like, should we be worried about like Nick Westbrook-Akine? And I'm like, I don't know who this segment is for, because anyone who made it to week 16, they're not needing to rely on Nick Westbrook-Akine. Anyone who's playing DFS ain't playing Nick Westbrook-Akine. I was like, I don't know who this. Yeah, you should be concerned about Nick Westbrook-Akine right now.
I mean, maybe if you're betting his prop down, his touchdown props.
I know. Watch him go off now after I went on that.
Yeah,
rant.
he's going to be the key to the
He's been
slate.
DNP.
Yeah.
He's been DNP this week.
Has
so
he
you guys
really?
are lucky.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure about today, but I know yesterday he was when I was looking through
All right.
the injury report.
So who are your biggest sweats across your best ball portfolio?
I am a Lions fan.
Okay.
Amon
Gibbs?
Ra. I have Gibbs on a team, but it's not a BBM.
Okay.
And then I have him on a rookies and sophomore, but he's 100% owned there. So that was
Both
kinda
of
sad.
my BBM semis are Amon-Ra teams too. I'm with you.
Nice.
Yeah, he's on all 3 of mine. I did go through, I made a spreadsheet of where I have unique leverage in like all my teams. So
Nice.
it makes it really easy and nice to see. So some clean sweats. And some of the smaller contests, I have one where I have like Jamar Chase and I'm the only one in a pod and some crazy things. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah, the
have
ownership
Chase Brown on
isn't
that team
too out of
too.
hand. Okay.
I got
But
one
the
through, and
it's
it's
unique.
Chase Brown. Or not. Well, it is Chase Brown, but it's Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, Nico Collins.
Nico's
Nico's unique.
I've seen some
I'm
unique.
happy to
Yeah,
have
on
Nico through.
Nico.
Yeah, that's fun.
I have a Nico team
Um,
somewhere too.
Leone
Yeah.
shared that he did the BBM simulator, and I came
You
up
were
second.
second. You were second.
Yeah, I
yeah,
came
so
up first.
our little chat.
Mine.
Let's go, lad.
It's like, I want
Um,
that.
Yeah,
I
so
did it a couple times and it didn't have me winning. I was like, this thing's broken.
he updated it. This is bbmdb.com. I think now because he got the
I'm
pod
not
data, so now it's
second
more
now.
advanced than it was even before.
Ooh, I didn't play.
By
with
the
it.
way, oh God, get out of
CSU
here,
Ram.
CSU Ram.
Oh, no. Throw it
Yeah,
out.
right. Yeah,
That's
right.
funny.
I'm having Patrick PD behind bbmdb.com on After Dark on
Nice.
Saturday, so I'm excited to
That's awesome.
to get
That'll
to
be
know him
fun.
better.
Yeah, this is it's
This
such
is,
a fun.
I had
site.
only seen one sim, and I was second, and now I've seen a bunch more, and I'm not second in those.
I don't like it as much.
It's making me think my odds are not as strong as I was feeling.
Yeah,
I was
I was
already
showing up in
spending
a lot
that
of.
$750K. I felt pretty good about it.
I should
Hope-
I should just have producer Nick screen share this, and I just have Nick just roll just like the slot machine like all night until
Yeah.
we get one that we like here.
Amazing.
Bad
How many
beat,
what
man.
is what is the math? How many teams are left right now? How many pods are there?
one of 16 get in, and it's 535 or
Five?
something for the final.
Yeah, I know the final is 535, but
It's a lot more than I thought.
So it's like
8,000.
It's like 8,000 plus.
Yeah.
Plus. So it might take a while to roll and see your name
Right.
at the top.
I mean, last time I got my name like right away.
Again, me being
Team
second and Leone's earlier had me think that I was going to be on this like the second spin, but no.
There it is, 8,624. So
That's incredible.
it's been for a while. Get your screenshot equity.
So apparently I don't have the best team left, or the second best team. So my reality is being broken in real time right now.
Trying to see where I have Mims. I think I have some Mims too.
Asshole Pinky Toes was a name there.
Yeah, Mims is on my big board.
You did miss a Mims catch, probably, David Flood.
You sure did.
And Poodle.
This
You
is
did.
why I'm hot.
You got the 3.
Oh, there's our guy Vogie Berra.
When you said that, I was trying to think of the lines because there's a verse where he goes through like a bunch of different cities, like a lot of those old rap songs used to, like that Petey Pablo song he used to, and all those. But there's a part where he talks about as soon as I hit LA, and like, I mean, they're playing in LA. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm not good enough to pull it out, but it would've
I
been-
know Timber there.
That is the cool thing too with the sim. You can click on it. Dink piece at first.
Oh, BTR's having a night over here. It's winning BBM.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know
Jonathan
you could
versus
actually
the
click on the
RB1.
lineup.
Yes, Steph. Steph, read these instructions. You see this right here?
Well, it didn't have that on the original one, I don't think.
This dev is always shipping, always making improvements. This is a pretty
Matt,
sick-
you're late. You're gonna have to give us 20 push-ups.
yeah, 20 push-ups.
You got
All
that?
right.
Is that-
There we go.
Stone's smart.
Stone.
All right, let's get the lad TD here, huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
We got lad on our.
Oh, there's
There you go.
And mathology.
And
Wow.
Mathology.
Wow.
Mathology, I
This
didn't
is-
realize until I was checking out the BBM DB. He had the highest scoring regular season
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
It's
About like
awesome.
500 points.
And it got bounced in round 1.
No, that sucks. And there was no prize for it this year. They should have at
No,
least
no.
kept some.
But I think he
small
got like
prize.
6 or 7 through still. He had a really awesome
Oh,
year.
nice.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. I was watching a stream he did earlier today with Tyler and Bindles, and they had some nice teams through. So
Nice. It is rough that there used to be money for that, and there wasn't money, and then there was money, and now there's not money.
there was $1 million for that, not just money. I mean, that's a lot of money,
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
to me.
yeah. No, that's a lot of money.
But I talked to Matt about Mathology about it actually when we were at the Dog Bowl, and he was very at peace and still very
Go, lad.
excited about his team. So
Nice lad.
He's got to be coming up on the stretch goal, yeah. 89 we needed. He's up around 70 right now.
Where are we? Yeah,
He's at
70.
70. So
He
he's
feels
over
pretty
that.
good.
That's the term
This is-
green, yeah. But
This is the core. So the core.
there you go. The core is
is-
looking
As
strong.
long as Gus doesn't do anything, the core is good.
Core's got 2 hits and 1 it's fading. Okay, that's a
Uh-oh.
late hit.
Ooh.
Please be okay, buddy.
I think he's.
Mm,
Oh,
No, I don't
God,
know
he
if
doesn't
he is,
look
man.
okay.
uh-oh.
Stinger.
That's
think he's
not
all right.
Stinger.
I think the wind's just knocked out of him.
Uh-uh.
He's fine.
They're gonna check him out.
They're gonna take him out of the game, and then they're gonna go the ball to Gus
Definitely
for
are.
TD.
Yeah.
Did his head hit the turf here? That's gonna suck if it did.
No,
No, he's fine.
No,
I
not
think it was his
really.
knee.
Oh, okay. He's all right.
It was something on his knee. I think it was just hit the pressure.
Well,
when
he had
slid.
he had the ankle stuff, so I wonder.
Yeah, I think it probably just hurt.
Yeah, it looks like
He
his
laid
foot
there like
kinda
he was
caught
concussed,
when
but
he
I think
was
he was
sliding.
just like,
I think he's just
Yeah.
hurt. Yeah.
yeah.
I think he's all right.
Yeah, it just surprised him. He's tough.
I'm waiting to see Peter Overzet's name up there
Yeah,
for our.
that's what I wanna
our
see.
team.
Oh,
Let's
there's
get
our guy Serum.
Hey, Serum.
Nice.
Oh
There's
God.
Gus. Good Lord.
Come
Second
on.
touchdown. Why do they keep giving him the ball?
Dubner. There we
That team
go.
Nice.
There we
so
go.
bad
Let's
out
get
there.
this has been a fun exercise.
That's what's so that's like the biggest sweat is like, can we just have someone we know who wins? There's Drap, who's at the Dog Bowl.
Yeah, he was there too.
Soccer Dave.
In
the
3S
people
is a
on
grinder. I thought that said Soccer Dave for a second, even though he has no teams. But it got me. Noco Dave, not Soccer Dave.
So there's a dude in my
Oh,
pod
God.
who has 4 quarterbacks. His running backs, or he only has 5 running backs, and 3 of them are Dave Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, and Nick Chubb. But he has Gus, and
That's
these other
sick,
running
dude.
back is
Oh my
Cuba.
god.
That's
So I'm
so
like, this
annoying.
team's actually pretty live now that he got the Gus score.
Our pod has a Gus team. It's disgusting.
No.
I don't want to go look if there's a Gus team in any of mine. That will just ruin my excitement.
Pete, yeah, that's what I'm literally doing right now. Pete, do you mind checking the one where we have a Mims over 3.5 catch with the stretch stuff? Didn't
Yeah.
we do that? Oh, that's this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That
Yeah.
one looks good too. If we get to Lad 90, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, and then Lad 90 here also opens up Estimate getting 13 more. Like, and then we have this one where we need another Mims, but still the Gus with the Sutton. Like everything is live right now, but it can get absolutely decimated by Gus.
Sutton's got nothing. Wow.
Well, this was a touchdown. So
Oh, I was like, damn.
yeah, we didn't play any yardage stuff for him. We just played the tutty.
Okay, gotcha.
I avoided Gus in my 2 BBM pods.
I went
Do
back
we-
and watched.
do we have
I was
one?
trying to get us on Gus, guys.
Then that team wouldn't be.
You were trying, also apparently trying to get us off
Yes.
Chase Brown. So careful there,
I
buddy.
did try to get off Chase Brown, but for
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, which isn't the worst. But you guys, thank God you guys got us on Chase Brown.
I took so much Brian Robinson, and I didn't advance any of him on any of my teams. I was really surprised because he was.
He was good.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad season.
Wasn't Chase Brown
No.
good? He was good.
He was good.
I have a lot more
It probably
Chase
didn't
Brown
help that he
teams.
wasn't. I thought he was going to go off last week against
Yeah.
the Saints, and it probably
Yeah.
didn't help that he didn't have a great
Oh,
game last
B-Rob,
week.
yeah.
B-Rob, yeah. That was a bummer.
Those teams probably need, you kind of need him to play like he has all
Right.
year when it
His
matters.
usage is awesome. Highest snap share, rush share of the year, 20 plus carries, catching balls. He just didn't score.
He just
Well,
didn't
there's
score.
no
It
heckler,
was
so
surprising.
yeah.
I was like terrified of what he was going to do to all the teams where I don't have him, and then he didn't
Was
that
let him
JJ?
do a lot of. What's that?
The last one, was that JJ Zacharyson who just won or not?
I don't think so.
I was half looking. I thought I saw.
No, I forget his username. It's something
Okay.
random.
We are streaming, so we could circle back on that.
Let's shut down the stream.
There's Bullock in second.
Bullock. Oh yeah.
Rewind it.
Sorry, I'm
Bullock in second.
clicking it so fast that then I miss it when there's one to stay on.
Tom hates underdog was the name there.
He won't if
That-
he finishes there.
If he wins
Wow.
the thing and his name's Tom hates underdog, that'd be...
Josh Norris doing that interview. Yeah, we need Denver to keep scoring so there's no that Gus is really just getting the short yardage stuff and nothing else.
I missed the line you guys had on Gus, and it dropped, so I was scared. So I took a slightly bigger under.
You moved it. You juiced it.
Tim says I'm gonna get
Yeah,
arthritis by nights end. Buddy, I draft like 350 battle royale teams a week. Clicking buttons, buddy. We've built up the dexterity for a tool like this. Don't you worry.
In his prime, he click all night.
Clicking buttons. It's what we do
Oh, it's
best.
something in his elbow, Herbert.
Uh-oh.
They're doing some Maintenance on his elbow.
Shoot him up.
Yeah, did they just
Fastball
shoot him up?
Viper.
No, that was
Just
like
throwing
that
elbow?
was like a cold laser therapy.
What
They do those
quarterback
in,
was
like-
it? Was it who had the giant elbow? We were all kind of freaking out.
I don't
Remember?
remember.
That does not ring a bell.
Yeah, I remember
What
Purdy.
giant elbow?
Stuff, but not
It
elbow.
was some
not
like
giant elbow.
it was some bursitis or something. We're like, that's not how an elbow looks.
There's Eric.
It was
There's Eric.
who was it? Chat, help me out. It was like because there was the picture that came out and it looked like
Jaden Elbow.
yeah, it
All
was
right,
Jaden
everybody
Daniels.
says Jaden.
It was Jaden Daniels. It was like his elbow and arm. It looked like his elbow started here and his
Oh.
arm was like connected halfway through his arm. It was kind of crazy. It was partly the angle of the
I
picture.
missed this. Oh
Yeah,
god, that's
yes,
disgusting.
Yes.
What?
It's like what is going on? It looks like his biceps eating his arm.
That is
Ew.
I
That's,
didn't-
okay, there's
That's
another
you-
one there where he's working out.
I don't
yeah, so
like-
this
What?
is a thing. It's like part of his
Yeah.
anatomy.
Okay, that's weird, and I want to fade him the rest of his career.
I know that's why it's too low on him.
that a pick?
That can't
Took
be
me
healthy.
until
unless
August to
definitely-
realize that he was a running quarterback drafted second overall. It was a good pick.
That's gonna shatter. Oh, did they just fumble?
It was a
Chargers think they have the
50-50
He was
ball.
trying to
ball, and I don't
pull-
know
he
if
was-
it's a catch or a pick.
They were fighting for it. Yeah,
They
I
both
was
had
like,
it.
like they were not letting go.
And they're saying Broncos.
Ty
ball,
goes to
right?
the runner.
Yeah. Ty does
That's
go
what
to the
I
field.
would think.
Oh, Nick is running off the field.
Yeah, that's Chargers.
No, Javante's just not good.
Well,
Just gave him the ball.
I mean,
Ooh, that might be
I-
that's
that's
simultaneous.
an interception.
No, that's not. Oh, they're punting.
No,
That's
that's
funny. I was
They're
gonna say,
down.
I don't think
I was like, he looked like he had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Nick is calling a shot. Says my wife just yelled from the other room if I wanted anything from Taco Bell. We are definitely ringing the bell tonight. Wow.
Hell yeah.
Damn, dude.
That's why he married her.
Smart
Find
lady.
someone willing to ring the bell with you
She's just ringing the bell like
preemptively.
you know, just
It's
Not
a
in
sign,
preempt- I mean,
guys. Sounds
Ooh,
like a
shit,
sign.
yeah,
to
the
me.
Achievers.
completely unrelated to the football game. She's just ringing the bell to ring it.
How do you know she doesn't watch the stream? Maybe she's a fan.
It's so funny. We managed to have
Because she yelled from the other room. Unless this is a two. Are they watching the same show in different rooms?
yeah.
Clicking some of these. This is such a ship chaser team here. Justin
Oh my
Fields, Chase
God.
Brown, Kendra Miller, Ray Davis, Bucky Irving, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Addison, Rashi Rice, Wandell Robinson, Devontae Walker, Trey McBride. You just
Amazing.
spot that from a mile
Oh,
It's a
away.
good
yeah.
team.
Justin
Yeah,
Fields in the
really good
18th
team.
round.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh, come
See,
on.
they're not watching the game together. Her friend is over there, tipsy and hungry.
Amazing. I've done that a couple times this year where I've had Taco Bell prior to the show for some reason. It's like, but she apparently is not running into that. There you go, third place. I don't know how to say it, but that's our guy.
Oh, yeah, Rokesh.
Rokesh, right?
Yeah. You're right.
I think this thing might be broken, guys. I should have shown it
Yeah.
by now.
Yeah, it's definitely broken.
I mean, we've seen like 25 friends, but it's not us, so it's definitely broken.
I mean, before, like I said, I was showing up on everybody's. I like the first.
Ryan, are
version
you
much
making
better.
that up? Today was the day Taco Bell got chicken nuggets on the menu.
I saw this. Yeah, I saw an ad for that somewhere.
That's a real thing.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, guess I'm going to Taco Bell tomorrow. I just got to find out, what it's like.
Dude,
But
look at
you
this
don't-
team.
Who goes to
Sick
Taco Bell
fart.
for chicken nuggets?
I mean, why would are you?
Look at this running back group for sick fart. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That is his
5,
fart
6,
fart.
7, 8. That's incredible.
Dude, the receiver room is good though.
Dude, this is a
Like,
good team.
His first 8 picks were 6 receivers and 2 quarterbacks, and that was it. It's like I'm gonna take all running backs.
Dude, so he got fourth round Keenan. Okay, yeah, I guess this makes sense.
4th round Hurts.
Yeah,
fifth round
Fourth round Hurts,
Fifth round
fifth round Keenan.
Yeah.
6th round Odunze, 7th round JSN, 8th round Burrow, 9th round Brock.
Yep.
10th round Chase. That's nice.
All right,
There's Palmer again.
I was prepared for this to be a dog
Let's
shit
go,
team, but I actually kinda
Palmer.
like it.
They
Sorry.
have fire ranch sauce and bell sauce and
Dude, sick
jalapeno honey
fart.
mustard sauce.
Sick fart.
I might have to ring the bell tonight just to try some chicken nuggies. We had Chipotle a little bit ago. Somehow I have takeout Mexican fast food every Thursday.
But you're getting nuggets at the Mexican restaurant,
Well,
so it doesn't count.
listen,
It's
when you're
Mexican.
Taco Bell faithful, you gotta sample the local
Gus,
fare.
Chill.
How much cushion do we have?
You go to Italy, you try the pasta. You go to Taco Bell, you try the chicken nuggets. This is the way it works.
How about I go to Italy and try the pasta, and you go to Taco Bell? That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, Gus.
Wait, how much cushion do we have?
Not enough. 10 yards.
Did Gus?
10
What?
yards.
What did he do?
He just had a
He
run.
keeps
That's why I
getting
said,
the ball.
"Fuck,
We
Gus."
have the under. Yeah.
Why is he getting so many carries? It's
But
annoying.
all look good.
He
It
does
looked a
look
lot
good.
better than
His
Gus.
long is 6, Gus Edwards, in this game. He's got 10 carries for 27 yards. He's got 2.7 yards per carry.
Ooh, Leone.
Oh, there he is. Runner up.
Oh, nice. So he's got. Oh, this line is pretty good.
Tight ends are in rough shape.
Keon Coleman, what a homer.
Here, let me take a screenshot of this, Pete. Close out.
Okay. Yeah, because he sent you one of you. You got to repay the
Right.
favor.
I got to send him
Yeah.
one back. Thank you.
I wonder, PD should set up a YouTube channel like BBMDB YouTube and just have a script that auto runs it. And you just tap in. He's got some lo-fi beats and it's just
That would
this,
be
just
cool.
roll it. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, it's just this. It's just like-
Oh, I would do that. You know what? You could work out.
no,
and
that
do
would keep me
this,
forever.
dude. Yeah.
This is getting
I could get on
500
a guy's
concurrents.
bike and just do this for
Yeah.
40 minutes easy.
I wish there was a counter that told you how many times you've pushed the simulator.
that would be bad. Oh man.
It's a good it's a good track.
Tim says there's technically a statistical world where all 4 of you finish top 5. Just keep clicking and it will happen sometime.
There's Philly Eve in the Discord.
There probably actually isn't because our teams probably aren't similarly correlated enough, right? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's probably not actually possible to get all of our
Right.
teams to be the top 4. You know what I mean?
You would need like insane score. Like whoever we share would have to score like 130
A million,
points.
yeah.
We're not
My
getting
teams
off
are
the
kinda correlated.
stream until it happens.
Every
with each other.
situation we're seeing is all these lineups are pretty correlated, right? They have to be.
Right. All right.
Oh,
Oh, we just
What
got
was
to
that?
roughing the passer.
there's Ash Coates.
The stream has devolved since Sessler left.
He's actually still here. He's in the hopper. We just bumped him for bbmdb.com.
Dan Israeli says, I just simmed just leave him at 1.
No.
Yeah,
Send him a
somebody
screenshot.
posted him. Somebody posted it in the Discord like right before.
Liam would be chill.
It is.
about that.
It honestly, like again, I talked about
He
this a little
chilled
bit
out
on
when he was.
lulls
Oh,
today,
that's-
and like,
That's a
So
horse
many
collar and a hip drop.
jeez,
Dude, that's
Did
pretty
Herbert have his-
brutal.
Yeah, I was like,
Herbert
what
was
was
face masking
Herbert
him.
doing?
Herbert was you could call an offensive face mask there. It's like they were like, you know what? This one's worse than the other one. We're calling it on the defense. What he did was worse.
Well, they protect the quarterback usually, so.
That was
let's get a big lad play.
Yeah, come on. Stop giving the ball. No, they're in the freaking pistol. They're gonna hand this off.
They don't even have Lad out. Oh no, he's out there. Okay, he's in the slot.
No
Yes.
check down. No
Oh.
check down. No check down.
Oh my god. Why how is
Ah.
Edwards getting so many targets too? That's the thing. It's like
Oh.
Do they watch
that's
how
only
he
a second
plays?
target.
Well, still,
But he
that's
has-
too many.
I know. He has 2 catches all year. I think he has 3 targets all season. Yeah, 3 targets and 2 catches all season. He's already got 2 and 1 catch in this game.
There's Alejandro.
Nice.
All right, he's
I
off
love
the
seeing
field.
the 6th place payout at 239, 490. It's so funny.
Nice. I would take that. It's not well rounded. I could overlook that.
I'd live with it. I could live with it.
Here's a Vidal
Just
play. Do you have
Vidal
his
and a
receiving?
flag?
Oh, we gotta probably
Look
either
how
an
much more
eligible-
explosive
I played him
he
just the
looks.
fantasy points.
Might be holding.
Oh, nice. It's gonna be OPI or an eligible as quick as that was on the field.
Yeah.
I think they might have been blocking down field too early. I mean, like, it could be holding, but I think it would be OPI. Oh, offside.
Oh,
He lined
damn.
up in the neutral zone. That makes
Interesting.
sense. He's not in the neutral zone. Did he jump? Oh, he jumped.
Mathology.
Again?
Yeah.
The first
Jess
read.
Liam.
Oh no,
Again.
Jess
Yeah.
Liam. How many
Well,
teams?
let me
does
see
he
the
have?
team. Let me see the team.
Yeah.
Jane Daniels concerned about his elbow. JT
Pretty good
concerned
running
about his
back, Ryan.
ability to hold the ball across the end zone.
It's got a Puka team in.
It's a good team,
Really
guys.
good. Brian
It's
Thomas,
a good team.
Trey McBride.
I did not need to see Trey McBride and Johnny Smith on this
No,
team because it's already
and
pretty
How
good.
about
John
Ben
M.
Sinnott?
It's a pretty good
He
team.
took Trey McBride over Dalton Kincaid in this. What a poser.
That's
I
Rob.
bet Kincaid was
Do
gone.
you even like the Bills, dude?
Actually, we
This
can
team's
find
pretty
out.
sick, I gotta say.
It's a good
we
team.
can look at the draft.
Is there no Bills on this team? It's the only
God,
team he's
yeah.
ever drafted with
I
no
don't know why
Bills, and it's
not-
going to win
it's
the
not
whole
letting
thing.
me
Dude,
click it.
money changes people, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Liam has been talking about this team for a month.
Oh, hilarious! Of course he
Yes.
has. This is
Nobody
it's not-
jerks off to their teams better than Liam. Nobody. QJ.
QJ
Another
first
flag.
down flag. The Broncos have not had the ball for a really long time, which is frustrating for our estimate stuff. Because of the, or they had like a quick 3 and out and then a punt. but-
No, I can't. Come on.
Oh my
No,
god! Is
is
it
it
the same team?
I don't like
That's
this
a-
universe, guys. Can we?
Oh, it's the
a
same
sick
team we've been
team.
talking
It's a
about
sick
for a
team that
month.
keeps winning.
We're proving how good the team is. No,
Dude.
stop it.
Yo,
No.
ED, I very much appreciate what you've added to the community, but fix your site.
Fix your sight,
No,
bro.
no.
Oh
Liam's
my
using-
god, it's in second. A third time.
Oh no.
No, this is a
Different
one.
team.
This is a different
They
one.
say ETN, Robinson, Quorum. This team's not nearly as strong.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened
Yeah,
to
it only
ship
got
chasing.
second.
Pretty good team.
We
though.
just got
Go,
Liam
lad.
3 times in a
Go,
row.
lad.
Lad,
Oh,
lad.
Yeah, this is bad.
He doesn't have lad, right?
Time to
So
shut
this
it
is
down. I'm
Ryan
with
says
you.
this will get clipped by Liam and a
Oh, yeah.
Skeet on Blue Sky by tomorrow. Skeet's doing extra work in this comment.
Skeet, skeet, skeet.
Ugh.
Man, 3 more yards for Lad to hit that stretch.
Okay. He's gonna get there. I feel good about that. It's still the third quarter. He's their dude. He's had multiple catches in every quarter. Like there's a close game.
All right. No Gus. No Gus. No Gus. Wow. Is that
Darius
Davis?
Davis.
That is not what I wanted.
Oh, we got a flag? Why is Herbert looking like
Yeah, Herbert
India?
looked.
No, I think that was.
He didn't have him on his BBM team either.
He's just really, really high from the injection.
Right.
That's
Did I do that or am I still seeing things?
when did this guy get on our roster?
Man, that was an incredible throw.
That's an awesome throw.
We meant to pick him for the touchdown. Right?
He's really one of the most fun players.
He's so good, man.
Puts
He's
him
got
in
so much
stride.
talent.
Wow.
When people talk about arm talent, like it's Justin
Yeah.
Herbert, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
And Allen.
and Allen
Yeah.
I mean Mahomes. Like a lot of these guys have
Mahomes.
arm talent, but Herbert is, yeah,
He's good.
yeah.
Very good.
Oh my God,
Josh
that's
Palmer!
That's
That
Palmer.
was a
Wow.
sick
Oh my
play.
God.
Wow. Palmer, I knew you had it in you.
I
Holy
literally
shit.
Did not.
never would have believed he had that in him.
I didn't. Until he got on my BBM team. That's the only time I started
Wow.
having faith in him.
That was sick.
I need to see the
I was
slow-mo
just
on
typing
this.
a tweet that I had no idea that Josh Palmer
No
did that.
way.
That's
And then
That's a
to
sick catch.
Wow. And then the
wow.
drag-
Look at those toes.
dude.
that is insane.
He had such good body control there. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't even need to be as in bounds as he was. That was
It's
wild.
like even the bad players are really good in the NFL.
His
That-
own tip drill.
that was impressive there.
Man. So let's see. The one that doesn't involve
Yeah. How many
Gus.
does Gus is Gus in at the early?
Gus isn't getting there. I still have faith.
No, I do too, but it's yeah, so a big sweat here because I mean I think Lad's gonna let's knock on wood gonna get another catch here, but Estime, man, if we could get
Right.
him popping off a run
Right.
because this
Sweet.
one this is a sick one. This was a 50 to 1400 burger here.
We need the Broncos to score so
I
that they
think this
stop
is-
using Gus.
There's enough time. This is the drive where we could get that. They got to go to Estime a little bit.
He looks like their best back
Right.
by far.
We only need, 14 yards? I mean, if they go to one first down and he gets like an 8-yard carry, we're going to be like, all right, we're in good shape.
Yeah. All right, back to work.
Do we need any more memes?
Back to work.
Catches or everything?
I don't know, man. I'm a little bit shook. Chess Liam's just popping up here in the top 3.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I can handle any more, Leo. At
I
least
heard-
one of us has to
I
come
heard a
up with-
conspiracy that Liam actually has been sliding PD some $100 bills under the table to overweight his team in The Sims.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, that one team doesn't look like it needed it. That was a good team.
Just now you're masturbating to this team?
It's
Come
a
on.
good team, man.
There's Nick, Badge Bro, Hooper.
I respect the Sims, I respect the Sims.
Fear my turtle. The dopamine rush for me is literally has nothing to do with like, oh wow, you have a good. It's just like, oh, I recognize that name.
I know.
That's all I'm
It
spitting
really
for.
is.
Who do I know? Astromang. Yeah, when we called it a Liam year, what we really meant was a Liam decade.
I guess we did.
All right. To get a Mims catch, an Estime jaunt, followed by a Sutton TD. Yeah, so what? Next week is
Come on, we should know week 7.
So Wednesday is Christmas, and then so we have Seahawks Bears as our final shipcast next week.
So how many Seahawks and Bears do you guys get through?
I don't know what I have for those. I'm bummed that I don't have a JSN team.
I don't have any JSN.
Yeah, I had a JSN on that one that got bumped. The bump one I
on
mentioned.
DK.
Yeah.
Pete, I
Let's
would've
go,
thought
Estimate.
that-
Come on, buddy.
Come on.
I swear to God, just let him have one more carry back to back. Can you not yank him?
I know.
Like he needs his
Like, let him
asthma
get
inhaler
hot.
or something.
I
It
would
looks
thought
like
you
he
would
might
have
be
a
staying
Sharps
on.
team, Pete, because you wrote at one point that he was one of your highest drafted players, right?
Who?
And he's been good. Sharps.
Yeah.
Charbonnet.
I don't have him on any teams either.
Walker practiced in full today, guys.
He did?
Mhm.
Yeah, and did Sharps practice?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Man,
didn't
he
make
has
my
no
video.
Javonte.
Dude, that's what I'm
This
telling
is
you.
ridiculous.
Usage is so
What is
He did
wrong with him?
get 5 yards there, so now we're down to 9 is all we need. Is that a backwards pass?
No. He got batted.
Okay.
I also like how many other haven't I heard like running backs talk about it too, about getting in a rhythm with
Yeah.
carries?
Yes.
and
Yeah,
how
no, that's a
That's,
thing.
that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Yeah, like it's really infuriating.
You've never heard a Sean Payton back talk about that, though.
It's really weird. I mean, this is strange even for Peyton. Peyton, I don't recall when he had like
Yeah.
Ingram and Kamara and everything that he was rotating them every snap.
No, like this seems excessive.
He almost
And
seems
now
on
we have
tilt,
that
like he
Michael
hasn't
Burton
gotten enough
in on
of
third
the
and
guys he
5.
wanted, and he's just like, I'm rotating them every time to make sure I get the guys enough snaps.
And he's throwing to Michael Burton. This is
Yeah.
this is such a Broncos thing that Burton already has a TD catch. Nate Adkins has 2 catches. Now Burton just got his second. They have 2 fullbacks that have 2 catches in this game each.
John Payton is in his Hunter Lupke era right now. He's like, yeah, I
Right.
don't like
That's
this.
exactly what he is.
Is he practicing to be the next Cowboys coach?
We should have just picked off all the hires. Like, give us a random Bronco, just take the hire.
That's
Sight
right.
unseen.
Anything that's like 5.5 yards, yeah, that's a higher.
Yeah. Oh, you idiots! Sit underdog. Let us have
Michael Burton.
Nate
over.
Adkins. You fools!
Is that Estime? Oh no, it's Watson.
It's Watson.
Yeah, we gotta get all 3 of them
Bomb.
rotating, guys.
Mims.
Oh, Mims!
Oh,
Come
Throw
on,
it
dude.
farther,
That was
Nick.
there. No, that was on Mims.
Dude, he was behind the defense.
I
He
know.
maybe
but-
still should have caught it, but that ball's got to get farther downfield.
Oh, that was horrible.
Nice
Toast it.
route.
Get the ball out there.
Wow.
He's got
He
5
shorted
yards of
it.
separation.
That's Nick. Yeah.
yeah.
He was just running into the end zone.
But look at the ball skills.
Yeah, that's
Come
not
on.
good.
That's not on Mims, Pat.
There's a
It's
good
not
defensive
good.
defender there.
Oh, Nick saying, my
Look,
bad.
Bo Nix is saying on me.
My
and
bad.
it's like it's on me.
He went up for that like I would, like just like, like come on.
Oh, Javonte? 2nd and 10
Devontae
runs?
is
Really?
1.5 yards in a cloud of dust every time. What are we doing?
Yeah, this is crazy. 9 yards for Estime.
Obviously, it
we
was
can
a
get
terrible
there.
throw. I agree.
God, he had so much separation. That would have been our 4th catch. And I have him in something. And I was looking at it and I was like, man, if he
Yeah.
gets a big play later, like that's the main reason I responded. Or like reacted.
Yeah, me too. I have him in like 3 teams, and he's like unique in all the pods, I think.
Right. Yeah, I
Does
have
it-
him in one of my 2 BBMs. And I it's like
Nice.
it's thin at flex. It's a David Montgomery team and Jonathan Brooks team. So like if Mims
I have
actually had
those.
that long TD right there, he would have had a super usable week. Would have been nice.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I have a couple of Montgomery teams too.
Because then once if we get Broncos in a negative game script, the Estime stuff is going to be
dead.
shot.
It's dead.
I mean, they literally have a role for Estime, and it's first carry on every drive and nothing else. That's literally his role on the team.
It's crazy because he looked really good early. This is the Sean Payton stuff this is the stuff that's maddening about him. He overthinks it a little bit because he got other carries that first drive because he had the touchdown at the end as well.
It's like he writes out his entire plan and will not
go
off script no matter what happens. It's like, nope.
Second drive, he had 2 9-yard carries. By the end of the second drive, he had 16 rushing yards on the first drive, 18 on the second. He had 34 rushing yards by the end of the second drive.
Let's fucking go. 6th place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Step chasing team.
Pull it up. Let's take a look.
The 239, 490. The 239.
Let's go. Shut the stream
It's a
down.
good score.
239,400.
Oh, that's the money. I couldn't see.
Man,
Wow,
this
what a
team
sick
looks
team.
familiar.
Now, I couldn't see. Did Liam score in the top 10 in this, or is he just
Interesting.
like fucking shit out
No,
of
yeah,
luck?
in this
Did he
one.
just
I want to know why I'm not showing up.
What an
guys.
idiot.
Your team's not looking so hot now, is it, buddy?
Wow.
The demon timeout.
Look at that. Deshaun Watson could be the guy you need to win BBM.
What if he's the guy you need?
I do like that it's a Drake May team for you guys, though.
Yeah, that is fun. The team I have in the semis is not a Drake May team.
I have a few Drake May teams and other stuff. Not a BBM, but
Yeah, I have a DK Melly that's Drake May.
I literally bought this for a second. Please scroll down because if Liam is at 11th, then I had to look. I was like, this is a nice sim.
It's a good one.
You don't get greedy. You just lock up your 6th place finish and you move on.
Yeah,
That's right.
good site.
I'm
Good site.
Xing it
Thanks
out.
for fixing the site.
Good stuff. Thanks. Appreciate that. Awesome. We're
Appreciate
done
it.
there.
I still need to click when I get off of this till I hit.
Yeah, Pat was always going to get a Drake May, Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle team there.
I mean, come on.
It is so funny because it's like we all have our biases, but to see them shine on a May 2nd draft is hilarious.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's also got Javonte, which is me. It had Chase Brown, right, too? I think
Yeah.
I had Chase Brown. Yeah.
probably had a
Which you
little
guys
bit
got
of
us
that.
on. It had we spent half the stream arguing about Brian Thomas, who was not on the team, and we never were arguing about him
I was out on him.
with the idea of drafting him. Because I think if Jaden Reed fell to us in the 6th, I think I probably would have pushed us to try to take Thomas there, but it was never a discussion. We were just talking about the rookie wide receiver prices.
Yeah.
The Brian Thomas thing is so funny for me. I'm certainly wouldn't chalk it as a win at all, but I had a subscriber mention that they're in their like semis of their home league or whatever. They're super excited and they're like, we get these messages this time of year. Subscribers are really grateful, and it's all thanks to you and all this stuff. And he's like, you specifically got me on Brian Thomas because his price got lower, and then I had him as a target in August. But like I spent all off season on ship chasing, being pretty out on him in best ball in the like 60s, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to take him over like Kittle specifically. I was like, I don't want to take him over.
Well, it looked like he might flip Odunze, and you were like, that's dumb. And
and I wanted the three vets over him, which were Rashee Rice, JSN, and Deontay Johnson, which the last one didn't work out. But I was like, those guys need to be over BTJ and Ladd. And I mean, a couple of those were right, but like JSN looks good. I mean, I don't know. Brian Thomas looks like he's that's not true. Like it wasn't right to take JSN over him. Brian Thomas looks like he's the rookie late season eruption that we're always searching for. I wish I was on him the whole offseason. Like I counted as a miss that I was ever
but you got on him. You got on him when the price
Yeah.
went down, which is the right way to play. Like you weren't as. I mean, his prospect profile was very boom bust. There's just
Yeah.
like
It was
just a very boom bust prospect profile. Like
because his 3 years, only the third year was really good. Somebody asked me about it in my Signals Gold Q&A stream this week, and I was talking through it, and I was like, it's really similar to Kyle Pitts, where you get the draft capital. It's 3 years. It's the third year's really good. There's production there, but like, I mean, and look, it didn't work out for Pitts. Like that's the risk, is you're like, there's not enough of a sample here to be certain that he's that good, but he's that good. Like Brian Thomas is that good. He's just really fucking good at football.
I think part of it for him was you had the Neighbors element, where like Neighbors
Yeah,
looks
that's
like
what
an
I was-
absolute
yeah.
superstar, and he produced 17 touchdowns alongside that guy. So you're like, if Neighbors is amazing, then he's probably really good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fuck, get him. Let's go.
2 yards in a cloud of dust. Although that's 2 more yards
Let's hope
closer.
it was 1.
How
Is it
many are they
2?
going to fucking give him? Yeah, this
I
is
love
not
having to sweat whether it's 1 or 2 yards.
I know. This under's not been fun. I mean, we were going to take the under on like, what was it, rushes? And I think he's already gone over that. At least
He's way over
the
that.
efficiency.
Yeah,
thing.
way over
Yeah,
that.
at least you went on the yards.
Oh,
'Cause
1
they just
yard.
Don't care if he's.
But I was really confident they were not going to run this much. They've run a lot in this game.
Well, they're talking on like the mainstream, like fantasy, like I don't know, network show when I had it on in the background, getting ready, like how the Chargers haven't been running as much, and they're like they need to get back to the run. They're talking about getting back to the run more and getting back to their roots, and
Sure.
you know
That's the thing. They've really abandoned it. So it makes sense that then you think you need to get back to it. But I mean, look at the box score, guys. 11 for 28. That's Gus Edwards' rushing line. That's not what you're just giving up downs. Now you're at 3rd and 9 because you ran on 1st and 10 for 1 yard, and then you got a ball knocked down, and okay, 3rd and long. Set yourself up great. You can't just give up downs in the NFL. Look at that.
Wow. Brutal
Like you literally
sack.
might lose this game because
Yeah.
you ran on 1st and 10 there.
That's the funny
a
thing about the
massive
NFL,
thing.
right? Where it's like there's the whole thing of like, if you can't run, then like you'll be predictable and it'll be. It's like that's all true, but the solution isn't to just force a terrible running game. Like if you if you can't run, then you can't run. So don't run. Pass.
Yeah, you got to do like what Peyton's been doing, where you start doing a lot of really creative shit. You throw to your fullbacks as your run game. Like,
Sure.
honest to God, but like,
Yeah,
that's
what Miami's doing.
These-
Miami's been efficient. They sucked last week, but they've been efficient generally. Despite Achane has the lowest rush yards over expected of any running back in the league, and yet they're getting production out of Achane through the passing game, out of Jonnu Smith. Tyreek Hill's numbers are way down, but he's still productive relative to normal receivers.
It's all run game extension stuff. They can't block inside the tackles, so they throw out wide and then they run out there. But it's high success rate. It's the concept of running the ball, setting yourself up with the chains.
Yeah.
But you don't have to just keep calling runs up the middle to Gus Edwards.
Exactly.
No one's making you do that.
Tua has the highest success rate of any quarterback in the league.
It makes sense.
I mean, but it's terrible. You watch it and it's like slow. It takes forever.
But when you say success rate, it makes sense because it's literally so much of it literally is just a quick throw to the perimeter.
Yeah,
and then it's a catch and run.
He has an insanely quick time to throw. They have a super low pressure rate because they get the ball out immediately. It's I don't like it. It's not fun. But it's because you're kind of like they took their run game and they put it into the passing game. It's sharp.
Yeah.
You know, they found a way to get the same types of plays.
We can't block inside, so we'll just get the ball to the perimeter, and it's really high catch rate stuff, really high success rate stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, great. It's better than running Gus Edwards into the line on 1st and 10 for 1 yard.
It's a hell of a lot better than running Gus Edwards into the line.
You don't want 2nd and 9. You've done something wrong. I mean, you either can run or you can't.
Yeah.
I would rather have 2nd and 10 than 2nd and 9, but at least that says you tried to throw the ball and you had an incompletion, you know?
Yeah.
But they're wearing down the defense, guys. They're wearing them down. They're getting tired.
Wearing down Gus Edwards.
I know. Gus
wearing down me.
Yeah,
Gus is trying to get Blake Watson to come in for him.
Watching that line go up 1 yard at a time.
All right. We need to direct all our energy to a Marvin Mims catch in Audric Estime. rush.
Oh, we know we're going to get an estimate rush in the first play of the drive. So
I'm already
hopefully it
worried
goes
that
through.
thesis is going to get blown up here.
Yeah, it might.
Man, no moonshot with that kind of fog in LA.
Gus's long carry is 6 yards still. That was like
I
on the
had
first
looked at
drive.
that one, so that was in the pick 'em. You could bet under on his
Oh.
longest rush at 9.5.
Oh, that's great.
But again, one of those miserable swap. We did that once with the Kyron Williams, or I guess it was Kyron Williams versus Aaron Jones.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we also did one with like a Noah Fant long reception.
But we lost that one, I think, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
That's why I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the Fant one where we had a long reception versus Fant, but there was like a gap, and then Fant had like a 15-yarder, and we're like, oh, we're fucked. Do you remember that?
That one sucked too. Yeah.
We had like a
Estimate.
6-yard gap, and then it was like, oh, we're screwed.
Come on, that's a brutal sack to take on first down.
That's not good.
Estimate out there too, and it's like, come on, if we're gonna lose 8
So
yards,
That's on Knicks, man. He had a couple options.
That
there.
was spin zone. If they can get the first down, they will run the ball on the first down after they convert. Peyton got behind the sticks here. If they can get out of this and get a first down, he will run on 1st and 10 to estimate.
That's a terrible sack.
Yeah, it's not good. The ball's got to come out.
Oh,
You can throw it at his feet. You got to just lower the arm angle, get it around him, throw it at his feet, incomplete. It's not that hard to do, honestly.
wow, estimate didn't come off the field. Blake
They're not
Watson.
going to run it on 2nd and 20, though.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
actually, they did.
Go.
Oh,
God,
we
we're gonna
got
be so
8.
close.
We
That
needed
was nice.
9.
We're gonna be so close.
Oh my
I think he
God.
was.
He's
half
up. He's
yard short.
one. He's too short. He's at 48.
Two.
Oh shit.
Are you?
I hate this.
oh, Javante's in.
No, why?
Well,
Why?
if they're not going to run it on 3rd and 13.
Yeah, they got to
I mean,
pick up the first. Yeah, here.
I want Javonte in here because they're going to throw. Then they're more likely to go back to estimate if they get the first. They're not going to just leave estimate in the whole drive. They've basically shown they won't ever do that. Oh, get up there.
Get
Yeah,
up.
now we
get
can
up,
go
get
for
up.
it.
Let's go for it. Yep,
Yeah. We're at 4th and 6 now from the 50. We're going for this.
we're going.
Let's go with the efficient guy, please.
They're throwing here.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why he ran on 2nd down. That's why he has this underneath option on 3rd down. It's to set up a 4-down territory. You gotta feel like
Marvin Mims in
this
motion.
would be a shocking punt. I mean, it would be a shockingly bad punt. They're doing a highlight package.
What are we
Oh my
doing?
god!
God, what is wrong with them?
There's 4.5
Now-
minutes
now
left. You're at
another-
midfield.
What's it called? Is it the coward index? What's the?
Yeah,
That
it's a
that's
bit. He's
in
a
the third
coward.
one.
I want to see what.
Or
they
maybe
have
they're
for that.
just they have so much faith that
The
the
thing
Chargers
is,
are going to run the ball with Gus 3 times in a row and punt.
dumb. The problem with 4.5 minutes left is now if the Chargers are able to move the ball, that yardage that they could gain back to midfield can also run so much clock. You almost don't mind giving it up to them at midfield because, like, even if they get into field goal range, you kick a field goal at six points. If they can go all the way to the end zone, you're fucked anyway. Like, if you can't stop them, you can't stop them. There's only 4.5 minutes left. They get multiple first downs. It's going to be tricky. But, like, if you give up a field goal, it's not the end of the world when you get the ball back with another time for another drive. They've put themselves in a position where they may not get the ball back with enough time for another drive now. I don't understand why you give up a possession there. It's just really, really weird to voluntarily give that up.
Very weird.
There's scenarios where you don't get the ball back now. I mean,
Okay, so this says
Yeah.
this punt ranks in the 97th percentile of cowardly punts of the 2024
Wow.
season,
What are we
and
doing?
93rd percentile of all punts since 1999. Very
Do they not
cowardly
have
punt.
access
And-
to this
and they-
information before they make these decisions?
They've been picking up good. They've had good play calling in these spots too. They picked up some big third downs. Like,
Yeah.
so bizarre.
Yeah, because the Chargers had the ball for a while earlier. Like, they very well may never get it back.
Well, despite all of this, the core is still hitting. We just really have to fade first down Gus right now because we know we're going to get first down Gus.
And what do we have? How many yards do we have?
He's at 31. It would also be nice to get the lad catch, but our hierarchy, we have him at 87. We need him to just get to 90.
No, I mean Gus. I can't see.
31.
Gus isn't pictured here, so I'm asking.
Oh, my bad. Gus is at 31.
20,
Okay.
31.
Okay.
This is the core here. Yeah, and then up above it we have there's the Mims one, and then there's the Estime one. Like everything is so fucking close to a sweep. Minus the Sutton Tutty. But even that, if they can get the
So
ball,
we're good on lad, or do we need one more lad?
We're good on lad on a couple of them, but not on the laddered one.
This is so frustrating because they have to run the
Gus.
ball. I mean,
Nothing.
thank God.
Nothing.
God, they light possessions on fire.
Yeah, but in this spot, you want them to use your timeouts a little, and you have to hope
Yeah.
that you can run the ball effectively. But they are. You're right. I mean, I would still throw it in the Chargers spot. I mean, I think they might throw it here on 2nd and 10. They can't. It's just you're not going to hold the possession.
Yeah, both of these teams playing not to lose right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they both are. I mean, they both need to
It's
win
really-
for
we get
playoffs
Ladd.
too.
There we go. We got Gus out of the game.
FAQ
Oh!
right on cue. Right on cue.
Oh my
Classic.
God! That's why you can't.
Kind of good
throw
for
it.
us,
It's
though.
such an
honestly.
easy
It's
one
great
too.
for-
Yeah. It
They
is.
might run it here though. I hope Gus doesn't come back on. They could run it.
Oh, that is such a
Oh,
bad
that's so cute. And he had 2 chances to secure it.
Like what?
That was the opposite of the Palmer catch. I would love to see those side by
Now
side.
he's like,
Tip,
my bad.
toe drag.
I love how. Yeah, I love the
My
my
bad.
bad.
My bad.
You think that's your bad?
No shit.
I would. Yeah, I could not be
Oh.
his coach.
Vital
I would, like,
backfield. Let's go.
okay.
Lad.
Oh yeah, lad.
He's look.
Although we kind
I
of
know.
want to punt. Do we still need that other lad catch?
Fuck.
We do. Shit. He went out of bounds.
That's bad. Oh,
That's
and they're going to
bad.
give him the penalty. They're going to give him the
What?
penalty.
No. No penalty.
Man,
I kind of think they should have, to be honest.
I don't even
He
know.
cut
what,
back
like,
into the field. I thought he earned that contact. He didn't just
He
go out of
probably
bounds.
did. He probably did, but they tend to call. I think he got
Yeah,
hit
they
when he
do.
was out.
But this change of direction here is why you're going
Yeah.
to get hit.
Yeah, you're right. He was
yeah,
in
you
bounds. when he
can't
got
cut
hit.
it up.
I thought he was
in
out.
Yeah.
Expect to get hit.
He changes direction on the sideline.
I thought that right foot was out of bounds. But
It looked like it might have been, but even still, it's like you got to just go out.
Fuck
There it is.
in the stream. God damn.
That's the longest Gus Edwards run.
What
got
in the
blood
flying
coming out of
fuck? How many? Wait.
God, there's a really.
Can we get a
good-
flag?
Yes,
I can't believe that. Oh my God.
That's so brutal.
that might have even been my
Hang
line.
on. I'm gonna pull up a comment that'll not make us feel
And he
better.
lost a fumble at the end of it. I didn't even.
That's
pay
why I
attention.
was like, yeah. I'm like waiting. I was like, wait.
Did the Broncos recover that?
Oh. Gerald would be broke because he said under 9.5 for Gus's longest carry is free money.
Man,
I can't believe he just had a 43-yard carry.
Oh, mine's dead too. Then. Shit.
No,
He
I
gets a
mean,
negative
honestly,
4-yard carry.
we don't deserve to lose, but the Broncos absolutely deserve to lose after that punt.
Do you guys want to guess what his long carry of the season was prior to that? Of the season, he was
14
at
yards.
80. Yeah, you're
12.
too high. It was 12.
9. I was right. I said 12. I don't win any money for that.
Oh man, that was such a blade to get there after that sequence of events. Punt, third
the
and
punt,
10,
man. The fucking
scramble,
No
first
more
down.
unders, guys.
I mean, the under was
It
mostly
seemed
fine.
nice. I know.
Are there, Pete, are there any of the stretch ones where we didn't have him that are
Yeah.
live?
I mean, live, there's ones that don't have him. Are they live? No.
Oh, that
I
one
mean,
just needs a little bit of lad and a little bit of estimate, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe they punted there and then they give up a 50-yard run to
That's
Gus
why I'm
Edwards
like,
for the
It serves him
5
right,
yardage.
man. It's
That's what I'm saying. It
punt.
can't even be
Such a
tilted. Like
bad punt.
they fucked that up.
Yeah, they decided to lose the game. So what are we supposed to do?
Oh my God. Now Hassan Haskins is going for like 90 yards.
Wow.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
That's hilarious.
Well,
It really does serve him right. That's one of the things that can happen when you just give up your possession
Yeah.
down 3 with 4.5 minutes left.
I
And that's
am
one of the
glad
outcomes.
that
They go score
yeah.
and you lose.
Yeah, it's nice that the Broncos got smoked here for doing dumb shit.
Disgusting.
This was so much fun earlier.
I know.
Couldn't even be something fun like a lad touchdown.
Mm. I have a puppy with Justin Herbert and Gus Edwards.
Not now.
I know I have no Gus, so I'm not even looking at my sheet.
It's pretty good. It's got Mixon, Aaron Jones, Chase Brown, Lamar. Well, I guess maybe I don't need him. Amon-Ra, Devontae, Plaid. Not bad. Bowers.
Man, and I would have loved just one usable score on our BBM team,
Yeah.
but it
Well,
not getting it.
Do we have Sutton?
No. We
No.
have Lad, Palmer,
Lad.
and Javonte. Lad's at 11.7, but that's not a usable score.
It is. It is as a flex. It's usable.
I mean, it depends on how the games go.
Yeah.
Last week it would not have been usable.
It was. You could get through. It depends. Like, you need other big scores, but
How much did y'all's BBM team score last week?
the one I got through only scored like 155 or something. But I had another one score higher and didn't get through. Fucking podlog.
I think ours scored like 170.
Yeah.
I had one that scored 205 or something.
Damn.
Another one was like 165. Yeah, it was James Conner, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra. Pretty stacked team.
Oh, that's one,
nice.
yeah.
Chase
Yeah.
Brown, Bucky Irving, Sharbs. I don't think Sharbs made the lineup. Mike Evans. Yeah, there's a lot of good players from last week.
Wait. You have Mike Evans with Adams and Amon-Ra on that team? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and Jaden Reed and Jerry Jeudy.
Beautiful.
Trey McBride. It's a good team. I mean, I'm not trying to get like too excited about a team that's in the freaking just in the semis. But this is the one that has Estime. That's why I'm also like, he scored that early TD, and I was like, man, if he gets like a 20-point game here, that would be sick.
That'd be really nice.
He's at 9.6. He was at 8 when I checked in the first quarter when I was all excited about it. It's great. They haven't barely even used him.
What?
Oh my God, that was
Wow.
sick.
That was
No,
sick.
no.
That's not a lateral. I mean, that's
That
not a
was behind.
flag. Yeah.
He threw behind, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
it's
definitely
the
did.
same as a pitch.
They must have had some other penalty. Because that flag came on, the graphic came on really quick. There might have been a holding when he broke off to run. That's, I think, what they're going to call. They're talking about whether the lateral was even a penalty. Oh, that's no. And holding. He called both of them, but the second one's not right.
Man, I don't really want to do. There's a couple sliding doors moments in this game. The Knicks or underthrowing Mims.
That was a bad one.
That's a real bad one.
That's I mean, the game script thing.
That
the only reason Gus got all those
everything.
carries, yeah. Gus is at 14 carries. It took until then to to get there. I feel like we played that right because he hasn't had 14 carries all year either. Oh, that did go forward. Weird.
That angle definitely. That was weird
yeah,
because the angles looked completely different.
Well, one was from behind and one was from like in front.
I mean, the holding's the only one that actually matters.
That was so weird from the other angle. It seems very much legal.
Yeah, that angle was a little deceiving.
So, Bo Nix, it's kind of funny then. Like, if you're going to do that, you have to know your lateral. Like, it's very funny to be that far downfield and just chuck the ball forward. He's shrugging.
Okay. Oh, man.
We're going to commercial. Oh, is it 2-minute warning?
Yeah.
This sucks. This is a really good game, too. That punt ruined a good football game.
It did. Just a terrible decision.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely terrible decision. I don't know what are you thinking is going to happen in your mind? Like you have to play to win the fucking game. 6 yards. Midfield.
I mean, they have to get to the playoffs still. Like this game means something.
Who's in contention if they don't make it?
That's what I was trying to think. Because neither team was 100% in, right? I think they both needed to win this game.
We have Broncos 94% chance to make the playoffs.
So do they have?
Not anymore, but
not anymore. We did before today, but let's see.
Can they still get in?
I'll pull up what we had.
Oh, this might help the Bengals, people are saying.
Oh, yeah. It would help the Bengals.
Yeah.
So Bengals before today
had like a 4% chance.
With a 3% chance to make the playoffs. It still won't be super high, but they would be the next one up, I think. The Colts were still at 6.
You know what's the best part about that punt is, and I apologize, but I'm obviously so very clinging to this. The punt is, we trust our defense. And they need to know that we're not going for it on 4th down and don't have faith in them. And what does your defense do? They're like, why the fuck did you punt? We're so exhausted. We're going to give up Gus Edwards 50-yard runs and
I've also never
40-yard fucking catches.
I've never bought that argument because if you really trust your defense, then put them in bad field position at the 50.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We trust you so much that we're going to let the offense try to convert this. And if they don't, we'll still win because you're that good, defense. It doesn't make it. If you trusted your defense, you would do the optimal thing.
Right, for sure. I completely agree with that. But the one thing that you do hear from people is like, you don't understand, the numbers don't understand that the players, their emotions, they feel like you don't trust them when you go for it. And so then by punting, they should come out there and they should play harder. And they just gave up.
It's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's almost like the argument is complete bullshit.
It is, but I just want to point out that Gus Edwards and Hassan Haskins
don't
just
think
had the
players are like
their lives.
They're not like, oh, do you believe in me? This second of today?
No, of course.
If you don't, I'll play poorly. Yeah. Please tell me you believe in me. That's not how. These are professionals.
It's absurd. It's just so fucking annoyed by that.
You gonna bring out the punt team here, Sean?
Yeah.
50-yard line,
why don't you
4th
punt,
down.
Dude?
Yeah.
You don't want to give up. You don't want to give up any more points. You better punt.
It just ruined the game because if they convert that, then the Chargers are under more duress, and then they're throwing it, coming back, and this like the whole end game situation became, Gus Edwards and Hassan Haskins having these two big plays, and that's all that's fucking happened. Just ruined the last 5 minutes of the game. What a disaster! We have had some tough beats. And I mean, I'm not going to say it's the worst one because we've had some really tough ones.
It's honestly not the worst one.
It's not the worst.
No, this isn't the worst one. It's not, but it's pretty gross.
It's the third
stings.
worst one, I would say. I think it's the third worst one. The Bucky one and the Vikings one. Those were the two.
The Vele one was tough.
The Vele, yeah.
The Bucky
Another
one
Broncos
was,
one.
The Bucky one was the
was
most
the worst.
heartbreaking by far.
Bucky one was so bad.
And you know what's so heartbreaking about that too? I was thinking about this. He's basically hit the line every time since. Like we were also so directionally.
Yeah, we were
accurate
just
of
like
being
on
in
it early, and it's
Well, and this one stings in that like there was a chance for a full sweep, like across the board in some of those scenarios. Like all four of them were live.
yeah.
This could have been a massive night.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton just
It's like, you know what? That play that you just did there, Sean, that was in your playbook 10 minutes ago too, bud.
Right. Fourth down. Could have
Look
called
how
that.
that worked.
He did that onside kick in the Super Bowl, and that was the last bold thing he'll ever do. He's good now.
Truly shocking that also that they were at 2nd and 20, ran the ball with Estime, and then threw underneath to that, like whoever it was, Lucas Kroll or whatever. And I was sitting there talking about like, okay, he knows it's 4-down territory. Like, what are your play calls? As soon as the sack happened on first down, you just decided you're punting. I mean, that's what it came down to. I mean, it's horrendous.
The game ended. No,
the game ended.
I don't know if you saw, but he left.
Yeah, he's out of here.
He's not
Oh my
on the
God.
sideline anymore, dude.
He's kicking it's only 55. I thought it was like a 60-yarder.
On 1st and 10.
Yeah, I hate when they do this. It's the dumbest shit. Oh God, he did make it. I wish he would have missed it. Because they, for whatever, it's delaying the loss. They think that getting to overtime matters. Like that's not how any of this works. The other part of this that I hate is the idea is if you get the onside kick or you get the ball back or whatever, you're gonna have a shot at a Hail Mary. Well, the Hail Mary is not very likely to be made. The field goal from this far is likely to be made. You have a shot at it, which means you should get your ass down there and score the TD, and then you can kick the long field goal after the onside kick.
Even with that same logic, why not just do the Hail Mary now? Like,
right? Yeah.
What's the you can still do the Hail Mary now?
Because if it doesn't work, then you'll have lost for sure. And that's sad. Honestly, that's so much. That's why. That's why they like go for two so that you know if you need to go for two again. They never do that type of stuff because it's like, what if I go for two and miss? Then I'm like sad. So I'm
no, but I mean,
delay.
like,
I'm going to delay
the Hail Marys could be incomplete. To Pete's point, if you're going to kick, don't kick on 1st and 10. Yeah, they're dropping back right now, but take a couple shots in the end zone and kind of into double coverage. Yeah, maybe it gets picked off. Probably not. If you get multiple receivers down there, it's probably incomplete. But like, give yourself a shot to score now.
I'll be so sad, Ben.
Yeah, it would be so sad. So might as well just kick on 1st down.
Yeah. Live to fight another day. It's just constant. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, like Dr. Evil says, do the Hail Mary when they don't have 8 guys back there. They are dropping back, and they do have safeties back there, but it's going to be easier right now than it's going to be after you get the onside kick. You're probably not going to get the onside kick anyway. I mean, this game's fucking over.
No, they're not. But they're going to – this is how you lose like a man, right? You lose ice in the way you're supposed to lose by not converting an impossible to convert onside kick. That's the way we do it as football coaches.
They call the timeout.
Confidence kick. Ball didn't even jump.
Yeah, Tim gets it. Sad players can't play at peak performance, so you have to avoid at all times letting your players feel sadness.
I mean, the Lions look pretty freaking happy. And you don't see Dan Campbell doing this shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't let him get sad.
But he doesn't need to kick to keep him happy either.
Well, yeah, that's true.
God, this is a powerful comment. Sean Payton needs to lose in a way that leaves no room for introspection.
That's right. That's correct. Right. That is
I like
exactly
that.
what it is.
I like
I
it.
did
Yeah.
all the
Really
things.
good.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's really good. Oh.
That was actually a good onside kick from
It
the.
was sad chasing. It's sad.
It is. I wasn't gonna jinx it too. I was getting the form. I was like, man, we're gonna circulate the form here. We're gonna be ready to roll. Fucking Gus, man.
Now,
Well, we're gonna have to do
Nick
like
is-
6 scores next week to make sure we can pay out that money.
6 scores.
Nick's falling on a sword for getting Taco Bell halfway
That's
through.
right. That's on
Yeah,
Nick.
Nick. That's everyone blame Nick.
Every time I've gotten Taco Bell early, we've lost. I want that to be clear.
Nobody
Can't ring
is
the
allowed
bell
to get
early.
Taco Bell the
Can't
entire
get the
week
Google
just to
form.
be safe. You
Yeah.
only get Taco Bell next week after we win.
Yeah.
Do you think Peyton feels like if they punted just like a little further, they would have won this game?
Probably.
Yeah. Very respectable loss by the Broncos here. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
give them
very,
that.
very. Yeah.
He'll probably examine the way he
It's
rotated
a
those
classic
backs.
7-point loss on a punt. Just the way.
The other play I'm really annoyed
You're
at was that
supposed to
3rd and 10 Herbert scramble because then you just
Yes.
knew you're getting a Gus
Yeah,
carry right
yeah,
after it, and then you
yeah.
got the long carry.
Well, that's what stings. It's like if any one of those things doesn't happen, they go for
Right.
it. They tackle. All right. Anything you guys
Yeah.
want to plug before we end sad chasing here?
No,
We got the sidekick rolling. We have DraftKings launched on beta. If you want to draft playoff best ball teams on the sidekick, head on over to the Legendary Upside Discord. Get you set up with that, and we're going to be launching that in the next few days on the traditional production sidekick. So, legendaryupside.com. We got all your playoff best ball stuff covered. Walkthrough bay out tomorrow as usual.
There you go, Steph. Anything you want people to check out? A spreadsheet of your best ball teams and the collective ownership of your pod.
Yeah, you guys could check that out. I did post it somewhere in Discord earlier.
Yeah.
So you can watch my pain live.
There you go.
I do have a plug. I have a plug
it.
for something we didn't mention about the Marvin Mims play, which was that it was clearly defensive pass interference. And I saw that on Twitter and I didn't mention it. And I didn't really think it was that relevant at the time. But in hindsight, even though Nick Hunter threw that, that was clearly defensive pass interference, and it would have been huge. I have a lot of things that I'm upset about here.
Yes. And I'd like to plug that 4th down punt by the Broncos. One of the best punts I've ever seen. Peace.